Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hello and good evening, and hold on. Sorry, I got a freaking case of the sneezes as the damn thing was playing. Like, that was the weirdest thing. It's like right at the end, it's like, hey, guess what? You're gonna sneeze now, asshole. Oh, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to Hardcore Heels. I am your host, Sewardweller, and joining me this week, by himself, unfortunately, is Raz.
Hey.
Michelle's feeling
RWL for life, man.
You're gonna have to tell me what that means. I don't know really.
It's Reject World Order.
Oh, okay. I was included on this one yet.
No, I just made it up today. Like just as I was typing my name in, I was like, "Ooh, yeah, that sounds good."
Hello.
Oi.
But welcome to the Hardcore Heels podcast. I know everything says Matt and Monsters. We're still working on a new intro and a new and some logo and a new logo and that. So we're gonna stick with the. I don't want to say old one because I don't think Matt and Monsters is dead yet. I believe it's going to be coming back soon, maybe sooner than later.
There's a transition period.
Very good. That's the best way to put it. But we are 5 days out of the Royal Rumble.
Woo! And what a rumble it was, dude.
It was one of the more enjoyable Rumbles in recent years. Like both Rumble matches, I think were fantastic.
Yeah.
I know there is a lot, and I do mean a lot of backlash on both.
Yeah.
Mostly from people who spend their time on the internet making money bitching and whining about wrestling.
So people who like AEW, got it.
Well, the AEW people.
I'm joking. I'm just joking.
I know. No, I know. Though it's a lot of AEW people, but it's like you guys say you don't fucking watch anyway, so who cares what you think?
Yeah, I thought you were watching.
But it's a lot of people, it's the online wrestling fans essentially. And one of the things I've said for years is that the online wrestling fans don't understand that they are the smallest niche of the professional wrestling market that they're not listened to. Like they're listened to, but they shouldn't be overwhelmingly listened to the paying fans, because you can bitch all you want that Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble. There was 70,000 people in that building yeeting with him.
Yep.
He came to the ring Monday, and we'll get into this when we start talking about the shows and that.
Yeah.
He came to the ring Monday and had to do a fucking encore.
Yep.
Like, I have never seen a wrestler do an encore of their
It was
entrance.
nuts, dude.
But yeah, no, we should listen to the small niche audience on the internet and make somebody else the winner of the Rumble because they didn't like it.
Yeah, calm down in your grandma's basement.
Yeah. But it's been an interesting week all around. There was a lot of stuff happened, even in the indies on last weekend. Joey Janela gets into another fist fight with another wrestler, and he actually won this one though, in my opinion, even though his buddies were jumping in and stomping on the guy's head. But we'll talk about that a little later. Maybe I don't know if we could. We probably show that video because I don't think that's copyrighted. I don't know because I'm pretty sure Raz. I'm pretty sure you didn't see this at all.
No, I didn't.
I mean, I don't. For those who don't know, Raz isn't necessarily, he watches independent wrestling, but I don't think he's necessarily the biggest fan of it to the point where he could sit and point out and tell you who Joey Janela is.
No, it's hard for me. Having been a wrestler when my career was over, I didn't even watch WWE for a while. It was years, that I kind of had to step away. And the Indies is still a little too close, like in my brain, which is why I haven't gone out and seen his show. But I'm thinking about trying to get over that soon. Just kind of get it back out there and see shit again. I got to get over it.
I mean, it takes time, It really does for some people. Like, it took me a while. I stopped going to indie wrestling, to our local indie wrestling, Rockstar, and it was a good reason, in my opinion. But
yeah, well, I'm thinking about going up to support Sebastian.
Yeah.
He's doing stuff in indie, and I might want to do stuff with them. Not on a wrestling level, but I'm gonna have to get over it sooner rather than later. It's been 20 years, a little over 20 years now, but I haven't even seen a live WWE in 20 years since it happened.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was someone that went to, big and small shows a lot my whole life until all that happened.
We got to get together. We'll go see a DCW show up in Piqua or Springfield one year. They're not necessarily, they're kind of a smaller brand, like local guys. But
it's okay. I want to go see. I want to catch an NWF show too, because a relative / friend of ours is refs over there.
Nice. Yeah,
yeah, we'll definitely get together and go to something. I figure if I'm going to go back to going one, I'd like to do with you. So
yeah. Well, DCW up in Piqua, like I said, it's a smaller show. It's more family friendly and everything. Versus Rockstar, which a lot of cussing, a lot of violence than that. I love Rockstar. I had a blast at Rockstar. Just a lot of personal feelings got involved and things like that, to the point where I felt that I was looking out for other people and nobody was looking out for me and shit like that. And
right, it's hard, man.
To the point where, and I also kind of realized just how scummy the Twins and Gigi really were to the wrestlers. Like, they held a weekly show every Wednesday, and I think these guys would have been lucky if they got gas money, honestly.
Damn.
But Dark Messiah, yeah, Armbar is great. Armbar is another local company. It's run by I don't know if you remember Dustin Reyes or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, he retired from Rockstar a few years ago because he had a big run. He had a big problem with Gigi and the Twins. There was a big fallout with him where he had the Rockstar title still.
So I know a lot about Rockstar despite not going, because my buddy JP was their announcer.
Yes, JP was awesome.
Love JP.
But we Armbar, I've been to one of their shows and it's fun. I wish they would start running a little more often. Maybe start getting some storylines going and stuff like that, and get like a regular roster.
Yeah.
But they're just starting out. I think they've only had like 4 or 5 shows at this point.
Right.
So they're still brand new. But DCW, run by Tommy Blaze and Big Jim Hutchinson up in, like I said, Piqua and that. They're fun shows. They're not, they're not going to blow the roof off and things.
Sounds like a fun one to get back into it, though.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a very family-friendly one. Tommy Blaze is awesome. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, I've known Dustin for a little bit. I don't know him like on a personal level, but he's definitely bleeds the industry.
I feel like you and I would make a good announcer duo.
Yeah, but possibly. I have, like I've said before, I have way too much wrestling trivia in my freaking head.
But that's a good thing, though. I feel like we could blow the doors off some shit, man.
It is. I blow the wrestling moves sometime, or I call shit the wrong thing sometime, just because I'm absent-minded a little bit. And
That's okay.
Needless to say, I'm a little accident prone right now after the month of January. Thank God that's
Man,
over.
I heard a lot of incorrect move calls during Rumble. So I mean, if the professionals can do and get away with it, you know who the fuck cares?
Yeah. Well, I mean, now in his defense, he did have Vince in his ear for like 25 years.
No, I'm talking about. Oh, that's true. That's true. Telling him what to say. Yeah.
Yeah, telling him what to say, what to do, and everything, like how to breathe, when to take a breath, how to cough.
Yeah.
Like that was the one thing about Vince is apparently like if you were in a meeting with him and you sneezed, he'd throw your ass out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, don't you insult us by calling us Excalibur? No. Taz, I can deal with Taz, but you call me fucking Excalibur. Brian, I know it's you and I know where you live. Or at least I know where you work. But all right, we're gonna get going. We're gonna go with this. We'll start with SmackDown. Why not?
Smack it down.
SmackDown was I didn't really catch the whole show only because I've just finished the bloody binge last week, which I'm gonna tell you right now. We watched Killer Karaoke, or it's called Premica in Thailand.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's on Tubi, and it was freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's a fun one, man. I was on my getting ready to leave and go to Michigan, and then I didn't get to watch the Rumble until late Saturday night. So I went ahead and watched the replay of well, not the replay, but like the highlight reel for Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah, but it's it was a great movie though. I had a lot of fun watching it. And Raz, it turns out that Brian is calling you Excalibur. Apparently, I am too.
Oh, Brian, I might not be a wrestler anymore, but I bet you I can still power slam you.
I don't know. He's a pretty big boy.
I believe in myself.
But we'll get started. Basically, the show opens with Pat McAfee cutting a promo, putting over the city of Indianapolis. It really wasn't anything more than, hey, the city's great. Hey, remember I used to play here? And stuff like that. Like it was really over the top, put the city over and everything like that. So Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, they're basically standing at what they called at Saturday Night's Main Event, the Mean Gene Okerlund position.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically threw it to Joe Tessitore, who was in the ring, and Tessitore makes the comment simply that last week he gave Cody time in the ring to talk about the match and everything. So this time he's going to give Kevin Owens time to talk. So basically, we have an interview with Kevin Owens and Joe Tessitore. And basically, it's Kevin Owens giving Joe Tessitore it's him giving Tessitore a hard time, talking about how he's always kissing Cody's ass and all that kind of stuff. And then Kevin starts complaining that on Monday they were cutting all these promos about facing Cody at WrestleMania, and he's got a really good point. Owens has a really good point. He goes, there's a match at the Royal Rumble for the world title. Nice of you guys to exclude me from the conversation.
Right.
So basically it's more of that pushing that Kevin Owens character right now, where he's feeling like they're overlooking him and just like treating him unfairly in that.
Right.
So they talk a little bit more, and he tells Cody basically he's not going to wrestle him at the Rumble. He's going to fight him. Tessitore basically tells him he's not going to apologize for doing his job interviewing Cody. He says he will apologize if you feel our coverage has fallen short in giving you a fair opportunity, and that's what this is for. Kevin Owens basically does, oh, you think you're a tough guy? I'm going to beat your ass. And
Right.
Joe Tessitore responds, no, I think I'm a 53-year-old TV broadcaster. And then Kevin Owens basically tells him that he doesn't accept his apology. In fact, you can shove it up your ass. I have nothing to say to you. And then Joe Tessitore goes, well, then why the hell did you come out here? And Kevin goes, oh, yeah, the only reason I come back was to take this back. And he grabs and takes the Winged Eagle title back off of the ladder, the thing that was holding the titles for the ladder match.
Right.
So he gets his belt back, ends the segment, come back from commercial, and Kevin Owens is in the back. That camera. Like I said, I wasn't paying attention very much, so I don't know if it was they went to commercial or not. But Kevin Owens goes to the back, and CM Punk comes out. I'm sorry, CM Punk comes out to the ring.
Yeah.
And they have a back and forth. Basically, it's Kevin Owens doesn't like CM Punk. CM Punk doesn't like Kevin Owens. Blah
blah blah.
CM Punk's gonna win the match, and then Kevin Owens basically says, I feel conflicted right now because on one hand, there's a lot of guys in the Rumble match that I like a lot more than you. In fact, to be precise, there's 29 guys in the Royal Rumble that I like.
Burn.
And then Owens even goes, well, and keep in mind, I don't even know everyone that's going to be in the Royal Rumble. But still. And then they talk, about WrestleMania and things like that. It really was just a. It's almost like they realized, oh shit, we really haven't been putting Kevin Owens in the title talk, and we really don't want people to basically already know ahead of time that Cody was going to win the match.
Right.
So we go.
It was a too little, too late scenario, though, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's kind of obvious. Like, I didn't realize Kevin Owens has had so many title matches at the Rumble.
Yeah.
And he just keeps fucking losing.
I know.
We head to Nick Aldis' office where The Miz is complaining about Andrade El Idolo rejecting his mentorship last week. So I believe we get a match with them two tonight.
Yep.
Jimmy Uso cuts a promo.
He eats a promo.
Yeah. No, that's Jimmy. This is Jimmy.
Oh, you're right.
Basically, it leads us into Jimmy Uso versus Carmelo Hayes, which it happened.
Yeah.
Jimmy Uso wins the match. But he actually had, I guess he had the handful of tights. I don't remember that, but I guess he had a handful of tights. So Carmelo's losing streak continues. We go to the typical every year Royal Rumble by the numbers video package.
Yeah.
It's the same thing every year, but it's still fun to watch in that. Especially especially for newer fans who don't really know the records and everything like that.
Right.
So we go to our next.
It's a nice refresher.
That it is. We go to our next match, which is Chelsea Green defending the Women's United States Championship. I wish they would have named that something else. Chelsea Green with Piper Niven versus Michin with B-Fab.
Yeah.
It was a match.
Yep.
Essentially, Michin wins via disqualification. I don't know why we're protecting Michin. I know Michin, Mia Yim, whatever you want to call her, she's a good wrestler, but at this point, her character doesn't need to win. She doesn't need to be protected. This is
right.
I want to say this is Chelsea Green's first title defense.
I think it is, yeah.
And you let her lose, and you let her lose via disqualification.
Yeah.
Which ain't gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt Chelsea Green's character much, but still, it would have been nice to see her get a clean win.
Yeah.
Especially with how over Chelsea Green really is.
Oh yeah, big time, man.
So we get it. Then we go backstage where Byron Saxton is has an interview with Bianca Belair and Naomi, and this once again reminds me that Bianca Belair is such a better singles wrestler than a tag team.
Yes, much, much better.
Basically, it's the same thing, Bianca's tired of being asked the same question because they're going to be a tag team in the Royal Rumble. Basically, it's the whole, well, who's going to throw? If it comes down to you two, what are you going to do? The same fucking thing that Demolition did when they were the first two in the Rumble. They fought. What happened with the Hardy Boys? The Hardy Boys were in the Rumble versus each other. They fought. It happens.
Yeah.
Stephanie
We just
McMahon
love digging at tag teams like that, though. It's the obligatory dig.
Yeah, it's that typical thing, because remember back in the day, every year they made sure to push about how hard it is to win from number one and how easy it is to win from number 30, and then like somebody won from number one before anybody ever won from 30.
Yep.
Stephanie McMahon is in the house. We cut to Santos Escobar. He's reminding the Motor City Machine Guns that they have to fight for scraps. Meanwhile, Motor City Machine Guns have a tag title shot at the Rumble. It's a nothing. Another nothing promo.
A lot of talking.
Charlotte Flair promo again. I'm the best. I'm blah blah blah. She's gonna she's coming back tomorrow night. Then we get, and this would have been awesome. We get a Damian Priest in the ring. He cuts a promo about winning the Rumble, and then Jacob Fatu comes out, and I'm just going, yes, please.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Like, yes, please, give me this match. Jacob comes out and basically says he's going to win the Rumble. They go back and forth. Priest super kicks Tama Tonga. There's there's a big standoff. The crowd's going fucking nuts for this. For Priest and Fatu, which why wouldn't they?
Oh yeah.
Like I said, Priest versus Fatu. Here's a blank check. Just put whatever number you want in there. They start basically. Priest gets the upper hand, and then Tonga grabs a steel chair. They fight from behind, and then LA Knight comes out, makes the save.
Yeah.
Sets up our match for later on. I think it's our main event, actually. LA Knight and Damian Priest against Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga.
Yep.
I worry for Tama Tonga, depending on what they're going to do with the rest of the storyline.
Right.
Because he's okay. His brother Tongaloa is terrible. Tongaloa is not good in the ring, but I worry for Tama only because of how old he is, and he's going to end up falling between the cracks once this bloodline storyline's over.
Right. Fatu
is a future champion. It's that simple. But I was saying that before he even got signed.
Yeah.
I think we had a conversation last year where basically flat out, Jacob Fatu does Umaga better than Solo Sikoa does.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
So then we get our next
Fatu's
match.
fucking nuts, and I love it.
Yeah, dude. No, he just does crazy shit like that. That moonsault he does where he bounces off the second rope, hits the top, and just fucking jumps.
Yeah.
Dude, that size should not be moving like that.
No.
Then we get our third match of the night. The Motor City Machine Guns and Los Garza with Elektra Lopez against DIY and Pretty Deadly in an 8-man tag match. It was okay. It was okay. The crowd, I love Motor City Machine Guns. I pretty much like everybody in this match. The crowd doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. That's the gist I got from the highlight.
They need to do something. They need to figure something out. Because I don't think it's just the teams. I think it's that nobody gives a shit about the tag team division because of how long Vince and Kevin Dunn just never took the division seriously.
Yeah, big time. It hurt it bad.
Yeah. I mean, really bad. I mean, the Usos held the belts for almost 2 years.
We need more of exciting matches involving tag teams again. I think in the last show we did, Michelle mentioned doing elimination chamber tags again, and I think that's a good idea.
I mean, it could be as long as they do better than what they did last, because the last one wasn't very good.
Yeah, it wasn't, but there's a lot they can change, I think.
But they have better teams now too.
Mm-hmm.
They got a better division. Because that's the thing. No one's gonna. I don't think anybody can sit and say they have a bad tag division, because they don't.
No, they don't. Not at all.
Motor City Machine Guns, Los Garza, DIY, Pretty Deadly. Over on Raw, you have the Viking Warriors.
Yep, and they're killing everybody right now.
Yeah, I love the Viking Warriors. Or the War Raiders. I'm sorry, War Raiders.
War Raiders, yeah.
Yeah, they're not the Viking Warriors anymore. There's so many great tag teams. You have Fraxium down in the NXT, which is they've held those titles almost a year now.
Yeah.
I know they were wrestling tonight. They're supposed to be wrestling on TNA. Nick Nemeth, the former Dolph Ziggler, and his brother Ryan.
Yep.
They were defending the titles against them, and then I think they got a title match against the Rascals coming up soon.
Let's not forget the Hardy Boys just hanging out there.
Yep, the Hardy Boys are over there.
They're hanging around. And there was a call out recently from Bubba Dudley.
Yeah.
About getting the band back together for one more big match.
I mean, Bubba still wrestles. I don't know if Devon can do it anymore. But I know Bubba still wrestles. The Hardy Boys are the tag champions of TNA right now.
And there was even talk about making it the Dream Three-Way.
Yeah. Basically, I don't know what happened really, because I wasn't watching. I know that eventually Pretty Deadly gets sick of DIY shit and they leave.
Yeah.
And then Sabin rolls up Tommaso Ciampa for the win. So Motor City Machine Guns and Los Garza wouldn't be a pinfall. Tama Tonga makes a hint that he wants the tag titles back. Just stop. Backstage, another backstage segment with DIY and Pretty Deadly arguing. Gargano says that basically tells Pretty Deadly they can lose their shot at the tag team titles if DIY loses tomorrow at the Rumble. Prince responds by saying that DIY will be fighting alone tomorrow night.
Yep.
We cut back again to Michael Cole and Pat McAfee from the Oakland position. They're talking to Indiana Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton. I'm not a basketball fan, so I don't even know what play. I don't even know what position he plays, in all honesty.
Same.
I guess they had a game against the Hawks the next night, the same time at the Rumble.
Oh.
So traffic downtown in Indianapolis yesterday on Saturday was fucking amazing.
Yeah, I bet.
Get a video package hyping up Cody and Kevin Owens. Then we get Naomi versus Liv Morgan. That was a nothing match. I like Naomi, but she's getting to that point where I've always said about Ricochet, where you could just tell her matches are completely choreographed.
Yeah, it's not fun to watch her anymore.
It's not. Now she's up there in it. She's getting up there in age, so I mean that tends to do a lot, but at the same time, Naya's almost 40. I think Natalia is in her 40s.
Yep.
There's no excuse for it, but you gotta, especially if you're gonna be a heel, you gotta build your repertoire up or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know, because I'm still on the fence about if she's gonna be the heel or if Bianca's gonna be the heel.
I think it's well after Royal Rumble, we'll talk about that in a minute. I think it's gonna be Bianca.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that just because it's getting late now, and they really need. They really want. Or I think the money match at Mania is Jade Cargill and Bianca.
Yeah.
But
we've been talking about that for a year almost.
Yeah.
Well, not a year, but right around the time when they first started tagging.
Yeah, but the problem is Jade's she's not getting it. It's not registering with her. She's still a star. She can come out, do her thing, you know. Because the best part about, especially in WWE, you don't have to be the best wrestler to get over with the crowd.
Right.
And that's not saying anything negative, you know. That's just it's the
Right.
truth.
Yeah.
We go on to Andrade El Idolo versus The Miz. Andrade gets the win via pinfall and goes home lonely.
Yep.
Because the news did drop over the weekend that he and Charlotte Flair have divorced.
Yep.
It's like you left, you went to AEW, everything was fine. The second this bitch comes back, apparently there's problems in paradise and we have to get divorced.
Yep. That's been uncomfortable for him.
Yeah, because they're both I think they're, well, they ain't really said what show she's going to be on, but it's more than likely going to be SmackDown.
Yeah.
Damian Priest runs into Santos Escobar in the backstage area. Essentially, Santos wants Damian to join Legado del Fantasma.
Yeah.
And Damian tells him basically to go fuck himself.
Yep.
And then Santos says Dominic was right. Damian's ego always gets in the way. So they're getting in each other's faces and shit. And then R-Truth is now back on SmackDown.
Yep.
Truth thinks that Nick Aldis is Adam Pearce. Priest tells Truth to never change, and Priest and LA Knight will handle business tonight. I love R-Truth. I'm so glad he's back.
Me too. I love him, man. He's hilarious. He's a good wrestler too, but he's hilarious.
Yeah. He's like I think he's 50 now, so I think even he accepts that he's comic relief.
Oh yeah, man. I still remember when it was him and Goldust tagging Golden Truth, and they were playing Pokemon, and they led him right into the middle of a match.
Yeah, I remember that. Damn it! Dropped my drink. All right.
I think you dropped something.
I did. So we're still backstage. Zelina Vega has her eyes set on the WWE Women's Championship. It's not going anywhere. If Tiffany loses it to anybody, it's going to be Charlotte.
Yeah.
They go back to Pat McAfee and Michael Cole at the Mean Gene Station, and Tiffany Stratton. But they're in the ring this time. That's right. They're talking about John Cena, this being his final Royal Rumble, and they are gonna milk that shit.
Oh yeah, they are.
Because the John Cena retirement tour starts tomorrow.
Yep.
Michael Cole starts talking about the women's Royal Rumble match, and brings out Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany, does her usual talking shit. And then Candice LeRae comes out, calls her pathetic, tells her she doesn't even deserve to stand in to say Nia's name after what she did.
Yeah.
Because, everybody else who's ever won the Money in the Bank hasn't done the same fucking thing.
Yep.
And we've only been doing this for 12 years? Probably longer than that at this point.
I think it's been a little longer. Yeah.
So Candice LeRae comes, she's talking, Tiffany laughs at her, says, "You think I'm jealous of you? I'm the champion. All you'll ever be is Nia Jax's little sidekick. Unlike me, and you'll never be able to touch this." And just at that point, Nia Jax is in the ring, comes running to try to get Tiffany from behind. Tiffany moves, and Nia Jax has murdered Candice LeRae.
Yep.
Rest in peace, Candice. I love Candice LeRae, but the only thing she'll ever really be remembered for is getting kicked in the face by the Young Bucks with the thumbtack shoes.
Yep.
Like, I want her to do so much more, but I don't see it.
Yeah.
And then we finally get to the main event. It was a decent match. Damian Priest and LA Knight beat Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. I believe they pinned Tama Tonga. Of course, they're not gonna let Fatu take a pin anytime soon.
Right.
And that's how SmackDown ends. So not a great showing for the final, basically your go home show for the Rumble. Wasn't a very good showing. I always expect to see the giant brawl, everybody fighting.
Oh yeah.
So we go to the next night where WWE Royal Rumble, 4 whole matches, which I get it. Live from Indianapolis, Indiana, from Lucas Oil Stadium, home of the Indianapolis Colts. Our first match was the Women's Royal Rumble. I'm not going to go through like order of elimination or anything like that.
Oh yeah.
But the participants are Io Sky, Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez, who basically made a name for herself at the Rumble on Saturday. She's the Iron Woman, and that's going to lead her. That's going to lead her, and that's going to do her very well on the main roster when she joins it here in a couple weeks.
Big time.
Lyra Valkyria, Chelsea Green, B-Fab.
Who had a unfortunate for her costume malfunction.
Lyra did, yeah, but
yep.
Kudos to Liv Morgan, who like knocked her down so she could go crawl under the corner, hide, and fix her top real quick.
Yep.
So kudos to Liv Morgan for paying attention to that. B-Fab, Ivy Nile, Zoe Stark, Lash Legend, who again had a pretty decent showing.
She did.
Bianca Belair, Shayna Baszler, Bayley, Sonya Deville, Maxine Dupree, who was basically there to show that she, hey guys, remember this girl wrestles.
Yeah, pretty much. That was it.
Well, they're I think they're also trying to continue the fight with Ivy Nile. Naomi, Jada Parker, Piper Niven, Natalya. The debuting, well, I guess not. I guess technically her WWE debut, because she is now a WWE signed wrestler, Jordynne Grace.
Yep.
I will say
she did amazing.
She did. She always does. She's a decent wrestler. Just don't ask her to piss in a cup.
Right.
Alexa Bliss. Yeah. Remember how they told us Alexa Bliss was not going to be at the Rumble?
Yeah, I know, with her Fiend jacket that had the R in a different color for friend.
Yes. But that made me laugh too. Was on the show there. Michael Cole's like, oh yeah, the internet told us they weren't gonna that she wasn't gonna be here, that she wasn't signed. Ooh.
Yeah, I know. I got a kick out of that. She had a good showing coming back too, though, man. She did. I mean, for how long she's been gone, she did pretty good.
Yeah, that she did. Hopefully, they get something for her going. We have Zelina Vega, Candice LeRae, Stephanie Vaquer, Trish Stratus, Raquel Rodriguez, Charlotte Flair, NXT Women's Champion Julia, Nia Jax, and fucking Nikki Bella.
Yep, for no goddamn reason.
I hate the Bellas.
I know, we were just talking about that in the last show. I don't like them either.
I
never did
stand the Bellas.
What killed me about the Bellas is even when one got a boob job, the referees were still pretending like they couldn't tell the difference between the two.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like that drove me nuts.
Yeah, it was Vince in charge though.
It's like, come on, dude. One of them has enormous fake boobs. You can definitely tell the difference.
This is true. This is true. So we move on. So basically, I almost forgot. Charlotte Flair wins the Women's Royal Rumble, at last eliminating Roxanne Perez.
I'm not a big Charlotte fan, man. Never have been. I don't anticipate being one.
I think she wins to go after Tiffany, and I think it's to put Tiffany over.
Yeah, that's what I think is probably going to happen too. I agree with you on that.
So I mean, there's nothing better out there to there's nobody better out there to help put somebody over and give somebody the rub, because I don't think we have Charlotte for very much longer, in all honesty.
I don't think so either.
She's pushing 40. This is what, her first match in 2 years?
Yeah, she said, yeah.
She's been gone 2 years this time. Cuts a great promo, definitely a lot like her father. Has her father's charisma in that, but people don't want her.
Yeah, I mean, she does great on the mic, dude. Like, she's a great heel. Her wrestling skills have just never really done it for me for some reason.
See, I think she's a fantastic wrestler.
I think she's an all right wrestler, but she's hurt a lot of fucking people, more than Nia.
Well, see, my thing is, like, 2 years ago at WrestleMania, 39, that match with her and Rhea could have main evented, if it wasn't.
It could have. Yeah, that's true.
With the whole bloodline storyline still going strong, I think Rhea and Charlotte would have main evented night one if we didn't have, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn against the Usos.
Yeah.
Which was the bigger storyline.
Yeah. Maybe not the better match, but the bigger storyline.
Yes. So from there, we move on to our tag team title match. 2 out of 3 falls. DIY versus the Motor City Machine Guns. And this crowd did not give a flying fuck.
Nope. It was kind of bomb. Although the match itself was decent. I enjoyed the match.
Yeah, the match itself was great. But, and people were getting out of their seats and cheering, going, oh, that was a damn good move right there.
Yeah.
But it still comes down to, the live casual fans, the live fans just did not give a shit about Motor City Machine Guns or DIY.
Which sucked. Because, like I said, they both had a great fucking showing in this match, like, equally, for completely different reasons.
Yes. Like, the match come off really well.
I think we're going to get something going now, though, with the Profits coming in like that.
Yes. DIY wins the first fall. Motor City Machine Guns get the second fall, and then right at the end of the match, as the Sabin and the Motor City Machine Guns hit their Enziguri Haluba kick combination, the Gargano, the referee gets distracted by a man in a mask on the one side of the ring. And then all of a sudden, Angelo Dawkins comes from the other side and just nails Alex Shelley in the head with a crutch.
Yep.
I don't think we were supposed to know it was Angelo Dawkins, but we did because his mask was in his hood. His mask and his hood were off.
Yeah.
DIY connects with Meeting in the Middle to pick up the win and retain their titles 2-1 via pinfall. And then after the match, the Street Profits just go ahead and beat the shit out of DIY as well.
Yep. Why not? They were out there. They had nothing better to do.
Yeah, they made it clear they want the tag titles. They don't give a shit about Motor City Machine Guns. They don't give a shit about DIY. There was the crowd got a little bit on their feet and woke up a little bit when it came to the Profits showing up.
True.
But
there's still a tag team that's got that ability to hype people up,
They do, but I like them better as faces than I do heels. I
agree with you there. I do prefer them as faces.
Yeah, but we'll see how they run as heels. I don't think they've had a proper heel run yet.
Yeah.
So then we move on to what I think is the match of the night. A fucking bloodbath. God. Vicious. Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Championship in a ladder match.
I'm going to say something that's a little sacrilegious.
Mm-hmm.
This, for me, was the first true ladder match that, in my heart, I felt was better than Razor and Shawn. For me, anyway, that's the first time I've ever been able to say that.
Oh, yeah. Well, and here's a big difference between the two is Razor and Shawn wasn't, like, personal. They were just fighting over the titles.
Yeah, but, like, the athleticism in that match, like, everything about that match was picture perfect. This was like a different side of the coin, but still beat the athleticism. Not by a lot, mind you, but it did.
Well, and that's the thing when it comes to Kevin Owens Triple H's booking versus Vince's booking is this was booked as a fucking fight.
It was an emotional, it was fucking, I'll tell you, she was passing out of the hotel, so I went out to the car and watched most of her Rumble by myself. And I'm glad I did, dude, because I'd have woken her up screaming like 100 fucking times. And I was in pain so much goddamn thing just watching it. Like, just remembering, because a ladder match is a match to put me down for good. So, like, watching this shit, I'm fucking cringing, like, freaking out, like.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, getting back to the booking thing, when anytime, even with a blood feud, for some reason, Vince always wanted these guys locking up at the beginning of a match. No, if it's a fucking blood feud like this, these guys should just come out fucking swinging.
Yes.
How do you get called Batista and Kevin Owens? Damn, dude. But yeah, like I said, that's the biggest thing for me is the difference between the booking is if this was a blood feud, these guys should have come out of the match, and as they did, just fucking swinging. You know, there is no locking up. This is a fucking fight, you know, and it was.
Yeah. Well, also, back then, the lockup was a lot more sacred to the wrestling industry than it is now.
I mean, I get it. I just, like I said, if it's something a blood feud and these guys have it personal, I look at it like, treat it like it's like a real fight. You know, I'm not going to sit and give my, you know, if I'm getting into a real fight, I'm not going to lock up with the guy. I'm going to fucking go out swinging, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I want from a blood, like I said, not just a regular feud, but a blood feud.
Yeah.
So it goes back and forth. You know, both guys are taking some fucking damage. Rhodes, like, at one point, back body drops Kevin Owens onto the side of the ladder, and watching
that was
his
nuts.
Back bend like that was crazy.
You know, there was a major moment that got me when they were back inside. He had one ladder up. He put another ladder through the rungs on one side and through the ropes on the other, and he slammed Cody into it. The problem is that they'd already knocked it loose from its holding, so it wasn't sturdy in place, and it shifted. And Kevin wasn't paying attention to the way the ladder shifted. So when he comes down, he brings down to slam him onto it. He does slam Cody onto it, but if you watch it really close, he also bounces his own forehead off the ladder.
Oh, yeah, I can believe that.
And I was watching that one because right after it happened, the way he reeled back, it looked like he did not know where he was for a second.
Oh yeah, no, dude. These guys both, you know, both of these guys were hurting after the match.
There's I don't even know how either of them are walking now after that match.
Yeah,
to be honest with you,
I will say I did like the comedy spots with the tiny ladder.
Oh yeah.
Like I think he whacked Cody with the ladder, and Owens looks and goes, "The fuck is this?"
Yep, couple times.
So. These guys like beat the shit out of each other. Sami Zayn comes out, starts checking on Kevin. Kevin gets back to his feet, goes for the stunner. Rhodes counters with the crossroads. They get out of the ring. They fight over by the announce table, which goddamn that they need something on that fucking announce table.
Yeah, barbed wire.
They need to like put poo noodles or something on there because somebody got hurt on the fucking announce table again at the Rumble.
Yeah, that's true.
So they're fighting on the table. Owens goes to pick up Cody and hit the package pile driver on the ladder, but it gets reversed. Cody picks him up. Alabama slammed through the fucking ladder, and you could just see Kevin Owens get folded in half.
Oh yeah.
Sammy comes to check on his friend and the best part about that too, and I think this adds to the story too, is you see the referees holding Sammy back because he's trying to help, trying to stop them.
Oh yeah.
And they're holding Sammy back, and
I mean they almost called the match at one point as well.
But Alabama slams through the ladder, kills Kevin Owens. Rhodes climbs to the top and wins the match. Cody Rhodes still the undisputed WWE champion.
And he didn't just win it. He took it, he showboated around, then he went and noticed where Kevin was and stood pretty much right over Kevin and showboated again to prove his point. Right over Kevin and Sammy.
Yeah, like this is a different Cody. That was
that was insane fucking Cody. The look in his eyes, dude, holy fuck, he was another person.
Yes, as it should have been, because
yep.
These kind of matches are the kind of matches that should, change you.
Yeah.
So then we go to our main event, the men's Royal Rumble match.
Woo, so much.
The match starts out freaking amazing as our first two participants are Rey Mysterio and Penta.
It was such an amazing lucha open for the Rumble, dude. Like, serious. It was fucking gorgeous to watch. And there's I think within the first 10 people, there was 6 or 7 luchas in there.
Yeah, because you got Rey Mysterio, Penta, Chad Gable came out, Carmelo Hayes, Santos Escobar, Otis, Braun Breaker, who had a career-making night. Literally the first 1, 2, 3, 4 people eliminated were by Braun Breaker.
Yep.
Then we get some shenanigans, which I'm not gonna complain.
Not at all. It was fun. They were all fun shenanigans.
Yeah, I cannot remember his damn name now. Tozawa.
Which one? Speed? Oh, yeah. Tozawa, yeah.
Tozawa comes out as Carmelo has been eliminated, and for no fucking reason whatsoever, Carmelo just drills Tozawa in the back of the head. For no reason whatsoever.
He was pissed the way he went out. The way they were playing, it seemed like he was just so fucking mad that he got thrown out the way he did, and he was just going to attack whoever he saw first, kind of a thing, to kind of, to throw a fit.
I got a feeling we got something big coming for Carmelo because he's on a long losing streak, and it's starting to affect him. So they go back, they drag him backstage, and the second I saw that the camera was following him, I'm like, oh, something's up here.
Oh, yeah.
I was hoping it would be like a legend or something, or somebody from TNA. But no. Triple H starts going, somebody's got to go to the Rumble. Speed! I show Speed. You're in the Rumble now. And he's like, what? What the fuck did you just say?
Yeah, I know. The whole thing was so fucking hilarious.
Yes. And my girlfriend's like, I don't remember I Show Speed. I said, oh, he's the dude a couple years ago at WrestleMania that Randy Orton just kicked the shit out of him.
In the Prime bottle, right?
Yeah, he freaking, Orton did not hold back.
No, he did not.
But Speed gets in. He does a couple of things. He helps eliminate Otis. Him and Braun Breaker eliminate Otis. They shake hands. Yeah. He starts dancing around, does a flip. What he's not paying attention to is Braun Breaker is now hitting the ropes, and that doesn't end well for anybody.
Never, especially a tiny little Speed who, I got broke.
Braun Breaker did not go easy, and Speed didn't turn fully around like he should have.
No, he didn't. Had he he'd have absorbed more of that blow, though, because you could tell it hurt.
Oh, yeah. He gets speared. Braun Breaker gorilla presses, throws him outside, lands on Otis. Otis catches him, and then Otis, sack of shit that, what do you call it, the fall-away slam.
Yeah.
The thing that, Razor Ramon always called it, the sack of shit. Fall-away slam, over his head onto the table, and the table
cut his leg pretty good too.
Ripped his skin back on his leg. Because again, that fucking table.
Oh yeah,
table. They need to do something.
What cracked me up about that is he was folded up on the ground, and everybody just sat back down, pretty much almost on top of him. With their chairs and shit, at the announcement just went back to, and a couple minutes later, you hear him going, "Oh shit, Speed's awake." He's texting the chat and asking his followers where he's at. I laughed so fucking hard at that, dude.
From there, we get Sheamus, Jimmy Uso, Andrade, Jacob Fatu, Ludwig Kaiser, The Miz. Number 15, you say his name and he appears.
And did not last long.
I didn't think he would, but
Yeah.
Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry had a moment with Roman.
He did, it was fucking hilarious.
Yes. Drew McIntyre, Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, and then, like...
Fatu cleaned house, though.
He did. Like, every time somebody big came in, like, him and, I think, Drew McIntyre got in each other's spaces. Him and, like, a bunch of people. Like, the second him and Braun start staring each other down, I'm like, oh, this is so much better than him and Damian Priest. Give me this match. Luckily, they did not touch each other. They shouldn't touch each other until they're ready for that feud.
Exactly, because that's going to be a hell of a fucking feud, man.
Yeah, because these are two big boys that do not hold back.
Right. And that's the kind of shit that title needs.
Yes. Jey Uso, the returning AJ Styles, Braun Strowman, John Cena. And here's where it got crazy. I thought this was great. John Cena comes out. Everybody's cheering. You know, he's in the ring. By the time he gets in the ring, it's time for the next participant. The next participant is CM Punk. Because Cena and Roman were staring each other down. CM Punk comes in. Now we've got 3 top names in the match. And then immediately after Punk gets in, fucking Seth Rollins comes in. And now you've got like 4 major stars.
Yeah, and now it's like, the fucking Spider-Man meme where everybody's just looking at each other like...
Yeah. I think AJ Styles even got into it a little bit.
A little bit. He tried.
Dominic Mysterio, Sami Zayn, Damian Priest, LA Knight, and number 30, Logan Paul. So, I love the whole stuff with Seth Roman, and Punk.
That was fucking insane. Dude, he wiped the floor with Roman multiple times, like, to the point where it's making me wonder if Roman's going to take a little bit of time off again.
Nah, right now the rumor's a triple threat.
Okay.
That's the rumor right now, is triple threat at Mania. I don't want to see a triple threat with these 3. I want them to do their own feuds, settle them on their own. Because I don't see CM Punk and Roman as a feud. That's the thing.
Not really. If anything, it would be Drew, Seth, and CM Punk. I can see that.
But Rollins and Reigns get it. CM Punk eliminates Rollins and Reigns, and then Logan Paul comes from behind and throws CM Punk out. Rollins loses his shit, double stomps, like not even just 1 foot, both foot, double stomps Roman Reigns on the floor. Punk and Rollins start fighting again on the floor. They start going at it. The referees separate them. Paul Heyman's losing his mind, yelling at Seth Rollins that why would you do that? You're on the floor yelling at him, you know.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Roman has now crawled onto the steps. Rollins jumps up, curb stomps Roman into the steps.
Yep.
He then goes right back to fighting CM Punk.
Yeah, it was like, hold on a minute, buddy. He goes there and fucking beats the shit out of Roman. Okay, I'm ready. Game on.
Just chaos, you know, utter fucking chaos, and it was beautiful.
Some fucking Rollins unleashed, man.
Logan Paul, everybody, you know, so you're basically technically your final 4 this year was CM Punk, Logan Paul, John Cena, and Jey Uso.
Mm-hmm.
So Logan Paul gets eliminated by John Cena, and finally, and the shock, to me, the shock of years.
Yeah.
Jey Uso eliminates John Cena, just pushes him off the fucking apron. Like it was.
They had that big battle in the ring. They had a big battle on the apron, and then he was just quicker than John.
It just was a little anticlimactic for me.
I really thought Cena was going to win it, honestly. I really, really, really did.
Oh, yeah. Once they threw Punk out, I'm like, oh, Cena. I looked at Jennifer and I was like, Cena's winning this.
Oh, yeah.
And then when Jey Uso pushed him up and he landed, I'm just like, oh, my God. They pulled
I have
the
a
trigger.
theory.
Go ahead.
I have a theory that Cena was supposed to win and slipped off the fucking mat.
No, it was Jey Uso the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah, they come out and like Jay said, they told him Saturday night, like
Okay, good.
Saturday afternoon. They called the final four into the match, and then basically told them that Jey Uso's winning.
Okay, good. Because Penta, both his feet definitely fucking touched when he fucked up in the beginning.
Shh, we didn't see that.
Oh yeah, we did. And it was obvious.
No, we didn't. We didn't see it. But yeah, like they said, like Jay came into an interview recently and said that they came to him late. Late.
Well, I'm glad that it wasn't
Saturday
just by accident then, because he does deserve it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he does deserve it. Like it's like I said, an immediate the freaking the firestorm began on Twitter, and it's like, guys,
oh yeah,
the casuals basically look at your TV screen right now, and there are 70,000 people yeeting with this man right now.
oh yeah. He's good at firing up the crowd. You know, he was always better than his brother at firing up the crowd too.
Yeah, and he deserves this. Now, I think he's going to go after Gunther. I think we're already to that point.
I really don't want to see him and Gunther fight again. I really didn't. Their styles just didn't match up at all, really, and like I don't know. Watching the last time just wasn't fun, but maybe this time it will be.
I mean, I would hope so. They got 2 months. They got 2.5 months to make a match, but I don't know if he's winning. And all honestly,
oh yeah, I don't know
if he's gonna win the belt, because I know they want to keep the belt on Gunther for a while. But
I mean,
Jey Uso is the number 4. In 2024, Jey Uso was the number 4 merch seller in the entire company. Like for the entire year, only being beaten out by Cena, Roman, and Punk.
Right.
So
yeah,
there's plenty of people buying Yeet shirts.
Oh yeah, you're eating them everywhere.
Yes, and so, but all in all, I thought it was a great show. I
really enjoyed it.
Like I had more fun watching it. Even the tag title match, I had fun watching it, even though the crowd was. Yeah. You could hear a fucking pin drop.
Oh yeah, it was a great pay-per-view, man. Like straight up. I'm sad that like there wasn't really any surprises for the guys other than the speed thing. There really wasn't much in the way of surprises. But then I started looking at it and I'm like, you know why? Because we finally have a stacked fucking roster all the way around now. They don't have to pull people out to fill numbers.
And the thing about it is I didn't mind that there were no surprises in the Rumble this year. Like
at first, I felt kind of let down about it, but like I said, I started looking at them like, you got this many guys over right now at one time in the company, which has never happened before. So it actually, then I was like, okay, well that's a good thing.
Yeah. That's the thing, and that's the thing that people say about NXT right now is their men's roster down there isn't strong, but their women's roster is fucking phenomenal. Like,
well, we go through phases where the women's roster was stacked in WWE for a while. Right now, there's some women on the roster that we could stand to lose, and it needs a little bit more love right now. With who's there, and the guys is back to being good again. So it's okay if NXT's guys is not there yet.
They're fun, but they're not. They're like. There's no big stars down there right now. The only ones like I could see coming up to the roster at this point would be probably Obafemi and Trick Williams.
I know who Trick is. Obviously, he's been back and forth.
Yeah, he was with Carmelo for the longest time, but Obafemi is essentially Black Panther.
Just right. I've seen him.
Yeah, fucking larger. That's probably the best way to describe him, because he's just so badass. He's got that. He's kind of like that Braun Breaker. He's a star. No matter what you do, he's gonna be a fucking star.
Oh yeah.
He's just such a badass.
He is, man.
So we've been going for an hour. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna take our break right now. This way we can come back. When we come back, we can talk Raw and NXT and anything else that might be going on.
Time to pay some bills.
That it is. So guys, we'll see you back in about 3 minutes. See you in a minute.
Greetings and shabibans. We are the Retro Reductopus Cephala Podcast, a long-form bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good, but I don't know what all those words mean.
I think what Parasite Steve's trying to say is that on Retro Reductopus, we explore a range of retro goodness, from toys, video games, and movies, to cartoons, and even snacks and school lunches.
Oh.
And we do it all with a positive spin, a slew of killer guests, and some very adult language.
And you know what else is cool?
No.
This crazy show is part of the Your King Podcast Network with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
What's that?
And if waiting 2 weeks for a new episode gives you a sad, know that we drop bonus episodes all the time, like the off-format Crow's Nest and an interview series we call The Brick.
You can listen to Retro Reductopus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any app that's cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all the things that make growing up awesome.
And just like that, we're back.
Dun-dun-dun.
Welcome back to the Hardcore Heels Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Sewardweller, being joined tonight by the incomparable Dr. Raz T Slasher.
Woo, I get an adjective.
Hey, I've said it before.
I know. Earlier I was just Raz, so it's nice.
Oh, I apologize. I apologize, Doctor. But we're talking the post-Royal. We're talking the Royal Rumble, the Rumble fallout, and everything. In case you just joined us, we're about to talk about Raw, the Raw results, and NXT. Well, we were just talking about Jey Uso winning the Rumble. I'm not that bothered by it. I know a lot.
I'm not at all.
I know a lot of people are, though.
I was shocked because I really thought Cena was going to get it. And I Uso, he deserves it, man. He really deserves this shot on his own. He's really been pushing it. He's been a tag team for all of eternity, and it's finally time to see what he can really do on his own.
Yeah, but here's the other thing too: is what happens now if, this match isn't a main event. What happens now if we've done it before where Seth Rollins wins the Royal Rumble and goes after Lesnar, and Lesnar basically tells Vince and company is like, no, I'm going first so I can get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Now the Royal Rumble winner doesn't get to go first or doesn't get to go last. And I think with Gunther and Jey, I don't think it's going to be last. I think the big match this year is going to be Cody and Cena.
Yeah.
I think I can see Cena winning the
Elimination
Chamber and going on to face Cody.
Well, he did announce that rather than earning it, he was just going to go ahead and put himself in because he deserved it.
Which apparently he has the authority to do that.
Yeah, apparently. I was surprised.
But yeah, and I think a lot of this year also has to do with the fact that The Rock isn't coming back this year.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get, basically it's another year that you're not going to get Rock versus Roman.
Yeah.
Which is the match they really, really, really want to do.
Oh, yeah.
But I think we get Cena. I think Cena, and in all honesty, I think Cena and Cody closes the show out, like on Sunday.
Probably, yeah.
And I wouldn't be shocked if they did the women as the main event for Saturday. Either Charlotte and Tiffany or Rhea and who I think is going to end up being Io.
Yeah.
Like, I think Io goes on, because I know Io lost on Monday. We'll talk about that here in a minute.
Right.
With the Elimination Chamber, I know she lost on Monday, but they almost always do that second chance one.
Yeah, yeah.
Like right before Elimination Chamber. So yeah, I think she'll win that and get in the match, and I think it'll end up being Rhea and Io Sky,
Right.
which will be a good match. But moving on to Monday Night Raw on Netflix from the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. Pat McAfee and Michael Cole are your announcers. Alicia Taylor, your ring announcer. Basically, the show opens with Jey Uso coming to the ring, yeeting the entire way. Gets in the ring. The crowd's still going crazy. The crowd literally starts chanting one more time.
Yeah.
So Jay and the WWE give the crowd what they want. They eat one more time. He gets an encore. And like I said at the beginning of the show, I have never, in 40 years of watching wrestling, I've never seen anybody get an encore for their entrance.
Yeah. Yeah, me either.
At least live on TV. Like at house shows maybe, but not live on TV like this.
Right.
Now,
just goes to show you the right person won, man.
Yeah. I mean, that you can't argue with. You can't argue when the crowd is doing this, going this crazy.
Right. And that's just because I was shocked about it doesn't mean I don't agree with it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have thought in a million years he was going to be the one that won with everything going on, but he did, and I'm like, okay.
Now, he doesn't cut the best promo.
No, he doesn't.
Especially on Monday, but I'm going to attribute that to him being emotional and probably fucking exhausted because he was eating for almost 10 minutes. Gunther comes out and basically is like, dude, you don't want to fucking do this again. You don't want to do this.
Yeah. Just goes on to basically tell him that he's not worth Gunther's time because if Gunther's going to WrestleMania, he wants it to be a notch in his belt, and there's Jay's also not worth his time.
Yeah, he basically says, you need to understand something. My expectations. Beating John Cena, beating Roman Reigns, beating CM Punk, that would have added something to my legacy.
Yep.
You're just in the fucking way.
Yep.
And like I said, Gunther fucking killing it on the mic.
Oh yeah, dude, just fucking murdering it.
And the thing about it is what, you're gonna talk shit? I will chop you into the middle of next week.
Yep.
Because that's the thing. He can talk all that shit and he can back it up in the ring.
Every bit of it, yep.
And he's not a small guy either.
Nope.
But basically, Jey Uso gets the last word with his yeet. We get a John Cena promo. I didn't watch that. I was cooking.
It was just him talking about how he deserves a spot, so he's going to take it the spot that he feels he's deserved for his long service to the company in the chamber. That's basically what it was. And also congratulating Jay again.
Yeah, I'm okay with, like I said, I'm okay with him just being put in there.
Yep.
We only get so many. He is still filming a movie. Remember this, guys. He is filming a movie currently.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called I think it's a Hot Wheels movie, honestly. But he is supposed to be in Dubai filming a movie right now.
Yep.
And he came all the way just to wrestle in the Royal Rumble, and then went all the way back to Dubai.
Yep.
But then we get our first match of the night: Penta versus Ludwig Kaiser, and god damn is Penta over.
Yeah. Yes.
These people love Penta. Penta ends up beating Kaiser with the Penta driver.
Yeah. It's impressive as fuck.
Yeah, dude, I love that move. After the match, Pete Dunne comes down, distracts him. Kaiser attacks him from behind and hits him with that twisting DDT.
Yeah.
So it looks like, Pete Dunne and Ludwig Kaiser are going to team up against Penta. And unfortunately, I don't think he has help coming anytime soon unless they team him with somebody already on the roster.
Right.
Because Phoenix, I think Phoenix has a few months.
Yeah.
Moving on, Finn Balor storms into the Judgment Day's clubhouse and basically reads them the riot act. He's like, dude, I've been gone for 2 fucking weeks and everything's gone. Dominic steals the tag title rematch. JD McDonough's hurt. And basically he tells Dominic if he wants to call the shots in the future, maybe Finn should find him a babysitter. Yep. Dominic starts to get in Finn's face, and Liv Morgan plays Peacemaker, but Liv tells him that Adam Pearce was going to give the opportunity to someone else if Dominic didn't step in, and the War Raiders hurt JD, not Dominic. No, JD hurt JD. And JD in that fucking table. JD in that fucking table.
But he really stepped it up in that match, though. He impressed the fuck out of me in that match.
Yeah, like I said, that you almost might have to bring him back as a face just because.
Yeah.
He's gonna get a massive pop when he comes back.
Yeah.
And then Liv basically talks about winning her Elimination Chamber qualifying match, and that her and Raquel Rodriguez are going to get the tag titles, the women's.
And that the reason why Dom got a qualifying match, or that Finn got a qualifying match at all for the Chamber, was because of Dom.
Yeah. I something's happening there.
And then Carlito's like, "What'd you get me? An apple."
Yeah. Like, because, fuck you, Carlito. Then we cut to the Charlotte Flair segment, and they boo her out of the fucking building.
Yep.
I felt bad a little bit because she's trying to cut this heartfelt promo, but I will give it to her as the professional because I don't think she was supposed to flip it like she did.
Right.
But if you're as good, and this is why I think Charlotte is actually really good, and this is something her father would have done. If you're good enough to see that the crowd isn't buying what you're laying down, like if they're not buying the sentimental, emotional promo, yeah, it's time to turn the bitch factor up.
Yeah, it really is.
And that she did. Rhea comes out. They have a little back and forth. Where basically Rhea first comes out and is like, look, we already fought each other. I beat you. You need to go to SmackDown. Charlotte basically goes, well, if I remember right, the first time we wrestled at WrestleMania, I beat you.
Yep.
And to the point where she pisses Rhea off so much that Rhea begs her to pick her.
Yep.
So good promo between the two.
It was good.
Basically, Charlotte tells her that she's gonna pick her opponent on her time, not because Rhea Ripley wants her to. So she's gonna go to NXT. She was gonna go to NXT. She's gonna go to SmackDown, and then she'll decide when she's ready.
Which is pretty much what Jay said too.
As they should, Yeah. I got 2.5
options.
months. Yeah, I got 2.5 months to decide who the fuck I want to face.
Yeah.
Because I have all the power in my hand. Last year, it was almost taken away.
Yeah.
We go backstage. Jackie Redmond is doing an interview with Sammy, asking his mindset in those matches because our main event is Sami Zayn versus CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
He says it's very difficult because Sammy thought this year he was going to win the Rumble, but he doesn't have time to think about that. And then, Jackie was about to ask Sammy a question about Kevin Owens when Jay walks up. Jay tries to apologize for kicking Sammy, and Sammy's like, "Are you kidding me, dude? Come on."
Yeah, I know. That was cool. It's all about the love on that one.
And then Karrion Kross shows up.
That motherfucker.
Dude, I love Karrion Kross's Twitter account so much.
He's basically Jafar.
Yes, he is literally just good night, Dante. Dante says good night, Raz.
Good night, Dante.
Basically, Cross asked Sammy, "How does it feel to see everyone else living out his dreams?" Sammy
Right.
says he's getting sick of Cross, and that they're going to have a problem if Cross keeps showing up like this. Cross says he doesn't want to be a problem, but he can be.
Yeah.
Basically, on Cross's Twitter account, he keeps filming himself watching Sammy.
Yep.
He got so mad when Sammy helped Roman Reigns up at the Rumble.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was getting mad backstage and everything. I love Cross because Cross isn't the star. He's not involved in a lot of this stuff. But if you go back and watch a lot of his stuff, he's the cause
Of a lot, yeah.
He's the reason the New Day has this new attitude. He's the reason, he's part of the reason that Dominic turned on Ray. He's part of the reason Drew McIntyre's doing what he's doing. He got into their head.
And he knows like the right moments to do it too.
Yes. Rhea Ripley runs into Io Sky in the backstage area. Io tells Rhea that she might see her at WrestleMania. Liv Morgan ambushes Io from behind. Liv runs away. Raquel Rodriguez delivers a pounce to Rhea over the production crates.
Yep.
So now we go to our second match of the night. The New Day versus Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee.
Again.
They're trying to get their New Day over. But at least this time, the New Day does get the win.
Yeah.
As Logan Paul basically attacks Mysterio behind the referee's back.
Yeah.
He attacks Mysterio from behind the referee's back, throws him back in the ring. Kofi hits with the Trouble in Paradise, and New Day picks up the win.
Yep.
I like where the storyline's going with them right now, so I'm not going to complain about that.
Yeah.
Moving on to our next segment, we get a video recap of basically what happened the night before with Seth Rollins and Roman.
Yeah.
There is no official injury update on Roman, but there's a chance he'll be out for this foreseeable future.
Yep. Which we also heard about Cody and Kevin.
Yes. Right. So next week on Raw, basically it's been announced Logan Paul will battle Rey Mysterio in a men's Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Plus, Bayley will collide with Lyra Valkyria.
Yep.
Next week, though, Bayley also has a title match, an NXT Women's title match that we'll talk about here in a minute.
Yep.
Kathy Kelly Bay's backstage interview with Punk. Punk says silver lining of him not winning the Rumble is neither did Roman or Seth.
Yep.
Apologies in advance for Sami Zayn fans because Sami won't be advancing either. He said maybe Punk puts too much pressure on himself, but he has goals, and he reminds everybody that he has won the Elimination Chamber match in 2012.
Yep.
I didn't even think about that. That Elimination Chamber is going to be in Toronto, and yeah.
Oh yeah.
They show that Braun Breaker's spear to ISO speed has over 300 million social media views in less than 24 hours.
That was nuts.
Yes. But, AEW is on the same level as WWE.
Oh, yeah, sure they are.
Yeah. We'll move on to our third match. Liv Morgan with Raquel Rodriguez versus Io Sky in the Women's Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Okay, back and forth match. Liv is very good at selling as a heel. I will give her that.
Yes.
Like half these moves, Io's hitting half these moves, and Liv Morgan is sitting there doing the flare flop.
Yep.
And it's fun. Near the end of the match, Rhea comes running down because Raquel Rodriguez is getting involved in the match. So Rhea comes out and starts fighting with Raquel Rodriguez. They, all hell's breaking loose. Liv Morgan reaches out and grabs Rhea by the hair, and Rhea basically punches her in the face, which causes a disqualification, and Liv Morgan wins via disqualification and gets to go to the Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
After the match, they start to tease that dissension between Io Sky and Ripley.
Yep.
Backstage, there's another interview with the War Raiders. JD McDonough definitely earned their respect last week. And then American Made joins the conversation, and Chad Gable says the War Raiders should be ashamed of themselves. They're not championship material. The Creed brothers are. Eric knows that the Creeds could probably out-wrestle them, but what happens when it turns into a fight?
Right.
If the Creeds want a shot at the World Tag Team title, then they have to prepare for war, because they're the War Raiders.
It's definitely on point.
Yes.
On brand, rather.
Yes. So the War Raiders walk away. Gable tells American Made that he's going to leave. He's going to be gone for a little bit. He has to go master the dark arts of Lucha Libre. But when he comes back, he expects to see American Made with the World Tag Team titles, and he expects to see Ivy Nile with the Women's Intercontinental Championship.
Who do you think his mentor is?
I think
Chad Gable.
I have no idea, but I wouldn't be surprised if he turns up in AAA.
You know who I weirdly want it to be?
Who's that?
Well, Dom is the one who hooked him up, so it's somebody Dom knows. We know that in the story.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it'd be fucking hilarious if it was Chavo.
That would be pretty funny. That would be.
Yep.
I almost want it to be La Parka, but he can't be called La Parka. He can't be called La Parka.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be a good option too.
Like, I don't think anybody nowadays would know who La Parka is, though.
Yeah, that is the problem. Yeah, we were struggling with enough people to know who Carlito was.
Yeah, but it would be great if it was La Parka. But like I said, he can't even be called La Parka.
No.
So we move on. Pierce announces that AJ Styles has signed to Raw through the transfer window. So AJ Styles is going to be on Raw. He'll make his debut next week in Nashville.
Yep. He'll be there with his soccer mom band.
Braun Breaker tells Adam Pearce to keep AJ Styles away from him. So I got a feeling that's going to be who the next challenger for the Intercontinental title is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, AJ's, whenever he's already flat out said this is the last contract he's going to sign.
Yeah.
So, as is customary for the retiring veteran, time to start putting people over.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him win the title again one time, but I just don't think it's in the cards.
Yeah.
Then we go to Seth Rollins coming out, cuts a promo on everything that happened last night. Sami Zayn comes out. He has Sami Zayn comes out, and he basically starts giving him this giant pep talk, and essentially goes,
Yep.
"For the love of fucking God, beat CM Punk," so he doesn't get to go. To keep CM Punk out of the Elimination Chamber tonight.
Right.
He's basically stirring the pot, saying CM Punk said Sammy's not on his level and all this stuff. Rollins starts walking to the back, and CM Punk's music fires up. They immediately go to fight each other, and all these referees come out to stop them.
Yep.
And they push CM Punk to the ring and Rollins to the back. Like, this is going to be... I love this. I love when you have people that hate each other so much that they're going to fight on sight,
Oh, yeah.
That's, to me, what made wrestling so good back in the 80s and 90s. Like, Starrcade 85, you had that match, Magnum TA versus Tully Blanchard, submission, I Quit match in a cage.
Yep.
before that, every time these two saw each other, it was fighting on sight, you know? And I love those kind of feuds. So we go. It's actually a pretty decent match between CM Punk and Sammy. CM Punk ends up getting the win with the GTS. After the match, Punk helps Sammy up. They shake hands. As CM Punk is leaving the ring, from behind, Kevin Owens attacks Sami Zayn, picks him up, and nails the package pile driver to end the show. Shocking, to say the least.
Yes, that he could walk at all, let alone do that.
Oh, no, he was still selling like hell. Like, he was...
Oh, he was, but he still did it.
But I love where that storyline is going because, again, Kevin Owens has, he's flat out going after people who helped Roman.
Yep.
And, Sammy was out there last night, and it's going to flat out be, why didn't you help me? You helped Roman. In the Royal Rumble, you helped Roman up. You teamed with Roman at War Games. You helped Roman. Where the hell were you for me?
Right.
And I'm for it. I am all for this.
They always have a fantastic rivalry every time they do one.
Yes, and this time
they know each other so well.
And we're gonna get this one at WrestleMania, and I'm all in. I'm all in for it because I like you said, every time. And now I think this will be the first time they feuded under the Triple H regime.
Yeah.
So if we get another ladder match between those two.
Jesus.
They killed each other. They damn near killed each other last time they wrestled in a ladder match.
Yep. Maybe bring back Steel Cage.
Hey, I'd be down for it. So, I guess Monday Raw was good for it being a post-show after Raw. I think this week's Raw was actually better than last week's. Definitely better than SmackDown.
It was, oddly, yeah.
Well, we're on the road to WrestleMania, and they need to start, this is the time to start getting storylines going. We've got a Elimination Chamber coming up. I think we actually...
like 3 weeks or something like that?
Yeah, like right at the end of the month.
Yeah.
We have, I believe we still have a Crown Jewel, but before WrestleMania.
Oh, I forgot about that, actually.
Yeah, I think we do have a Crown Jewel before WrestleMania, and WrestleMania is going to be later this year than it normally is. It'll actually be it's actually going to be Easter weekend.
Yeah.
This year. So definitely looking forward to just WrestleMania is going to be, I think it's not going to be as good as it was last year, but I don't think anybody expects it to.
Yeah.
Like last year was just another level of greatness.
I mean, it had to be. That was H's first one,
Yeah, Triple H's first one. It was the 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
We won't get an epic one like that for a while.
Probably not till 50th.
Yes, but I'm still looking forward to 41. Next year, the Rumble. Don't forget, next year the Rumble is in Saudi Arabia, and it is a 2-night event.
Yep.
So, which I'm okay
which I
with
like.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like one night can be the women's and one night can be the men's. They can kind of space it out a little bit and they can do more.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say is, it benefits WWE,
Yeah.
People,
and the fans for that matter.
Yeah, because the live crowd can't sit through 2 Rumbles in the same night, and
it's a lot.
Because that's another thing, and that's another reason I think that there was really no reaction at all for the Motor City Machine Guns and DIYs. They were fucking exhausted.
Yep, they had to pace themselves, man.
Yeah, like the fans were exhausted. So all right, we're gonna move on to NXT real quick. I know, Raz. I know you didn't watch NXT this week.
I did not, but I'm hoping to start at least doing the highlights of it here soon.
Yeah, I mean, I would suggest at least going to the highlights.
Okay.
It's still pretty good. Like I said, their women's division is just killing it right now. The men's not. I mean, there's still entertaining matches in that, but just it's not as deep as the women down there.
Right.
So we're live from the WWE Performance Center in Winter Park, Florida. I have been here. It is. I went a couple years ago. We went to Orlando. The kid was our oldest one was marching in one of the parades at Disney World, so we all went down to watch him. And while we were down there, me and Jennifer decided to go because it's free to go to the NXT taping.
Right.
And it was the week before WrestleMania. That place is rocking. Like, you can't drive, you can't park at the Performance Center because there is no parking. It is literally in a warehouse like district.
Yep.
So what you do, you go park at Full Sail University,
Yep.
get on a bus, get on a shuttle bus, and they take you to the Performance Center. And you wait in line, and you just walk in line, and you sit in the order you go in.
Yeah.
They are playing like old 90s like R&B and rap and stuff and music. It is a party atmosphere before that place is, and people are up dancing and singing. Like, it is fun.
Oh yeah.
And I know lately they've actually been taking the show on the road. Like, here in a couple weeks when Raw is in Cincinnati, NXT is actually coming to Cincinnati as well.
Yeah.
To the Andrew J. Brady Music Center, something like that. So
yeah.
I might be looking to get tickets to that. But our first match of the night is Stephanie Vaquer versus JC Jane with Fatal Influence. Basically, this is coming from last week, how Stephanie Vaquer came out and stared down Fallon Henley. Stephanie Vaquer wants a women's North American title shot, basically.
Yeah.
Decent back and forth match. I don't think JC Jane is really the best wrestler, but it was still a pretty good match. Stephanie Vaquer ends up winning with the SVB to pick up the victory. Nothing really happens after the match. I don't remember anything like the other two, like Fallon. I think the match, I take it back. After the match, Fallon Henley climbs on the announce table and holds her title up for that big stare down between Stephanie Vaquer and her. I think she's defending it against Stephanie Vaquer. I think it's next Saturday at Vengeance Day. Yes, next Saturday, the 15th at Vengeance Day.
Yeah.
We go to the back. Zarya, also known as Delta from Australia, is stirring up drama in the women's locker room. She's basically poking fun at Lash Legend and Jakara Davis or Jakara Jackson. I can't remember. I think it's Jakara Jackson. Metaphor for not winning the titles last week.
Yeah.
Jakara Jackson tells Tatum Paxley and basically Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan try to keep the peace. Zarya tells them to go fuck themselves. Sol Ruka and Sol Ruka are basically are going to face Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan later in the night.
Yeah.
And then the winners of that match will go on to face Metaphor. We get some clips of Roxanne Perez's performance in the Rumble match. We have Sarah Schreiber in the back talking with Oba Femi. Ava basically has to remind him again that she runs everything in NXT. But what she doesn't know is that I take it back. Ava says she runs everything in NXT, but what she doesn't know is that Oba runs everything that happens inside the ring. And then tonight, Oba will show Austin Theory and Grayson Waller why they don't belong in the same ring as him. Basically, our main event tonight is Oba Femi and Trick Williams versus A-Town Down Under.
Right.
Then, to me, what I think is the segment of the night, in all honesty. So, Lexus King. Do you know who that is?
I do not.
That is Brian Pillman Jr.
Okay.
Yeah. He doesn't want to live in his father's shadow, live in his father's legacy, so he goes by Lexus King instead
Yeah.
of
It's
Brian
respectful,
Pillman.
you know.
Yes. He comes out. He is your current NXT Heritage Cup champion. To the point where he finally is now not. He doesn't have to defend it against Charlie Dempsey anymore after last week. Charlie Dempsey being the son of William Regal.
Right.
He starts talking. He wants to come out here. I want to be humble, but I can't. But how can I be humble when I'm on a path to being the biggest superstar in the history of professional wrestling? And I will say that fucking beard looks so stupid.
It does. It looks fucking terrible. I've seen it.
So, yeah, he goes on. He starts talking.
It almost looks fake.
I think it did. I think it is, in all honesty. He says he couldn't do it alone. You got a lot of legends back there. They got the LFG show going, but one in particular, William Regal. When he reached out to me, he tried to show me the light, and he tried to show me who I truly am. Basically, William Regal seconded Lexus King against his son and gave Lexus King the brass knucks.
Right. Damn.
He cuts this whole promo basically to say that he's changing the rules for the Heritage Cup. The original Heritage Cup rules are 3 rounds, 3-minute rounds, 1 fall per round. The winner with the most falls at the end of the match wins the cup. But now he is changing the rules to where it is going to be single falls only.
Oh.
And then some music hits. Ladies and gentlemen, Fandango has returned to NXT.
Oh, shit.
That place erupted.
I bet, dude.
Doing the dance and everything. Well, Fandango works for TNA now.
Yeah.
He is part of the system with Moose, Kurt Hawkins, or the former Brian Myers, a.k.a. Kurt Hawkins, and Eddie Edwards.
Yeah.
So he comes out. Lexus King gives him shit and says, "Hey, aren't you the guy that used to run around playing dress up with Tyler Breeze?" Right? Firefighters, policemen. Brother, this is not the MCA. This is NXT. Fandango introduces himself. He goes by JDC now. His real name, of course, being Johnny Curtis.
Yeah.
He is JDC, and he's representing the system. And essentially, he is challenging Lexus King next Tuesday for the Heritage Cup.
Interesting.
So we get Fandango versus Lexus King for the Heritage Cup on NXT next Wednesday or next Tuesday. We cut backstage. Tony D'Angelo will apparently be appearing on the CW's Wild Cards. I have no idea what that is.
I have no idea what it is either.
I don't watch too much CW.
I used to, but everything I was watching on CW wasn't on CW anymore. So
yeah. Stax has taken issue with Hollywood Tony D and telling him, and him talking to Izzy Dame about instead of having their backs last week. Stax says he's breaking the Don's balls. The Dons tell Stax to focus on Ridge Holland. Tony it's basically a mafia family. Tony D'Angelo's Stax. Yeah, you have Stax, who's like his second in command. Consigliere, I guess you would call him.
Yeah.
Luca, I can't remember the guy's name. Luca something. And Izzy Dame they're called. They literally just call them the family. So our second match of the night is Ridge Holland versus Channing Lorenzo, aka Stax. Needless to say, Ridge Holland wins the match with the Redeemer DDT. That really was an okay match. They're almost teasing a breakup of the family, which I don't like that idea because I like the family and like the way they're doing it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be because Tony D'Angelo has the NXT North American Championship and he's getting all these other opportunities in that.
Yeah. Jealousy, etc., etc.
Yeah. And I mean, and again, this is one of the things I said last week. The biggest troll the New Day could do is bring Ridge Holland into the group on Raw.
It would be.
Because Ridge Holland, of course, is the guy who hit the move on Big E that essentially ended his career.
Yep.
And Ridge Holland has already killed one stable down in TNA or NXT. He is the reason that Chase U is no longer together. And on top of everything, Duke Hudson was silently released over the weekend.
Ooh.
Yeah, no reason given or anything. Just they didn't. And he had a look. Like, he had a look of a wrestler.
Yeah.
Had the charisma, could cut a promo. Not terrible in the ring. So
when you got the roster they've got, you got to be a lot pickier than that.
I know, but there's other people they could have got rid of.
No, I'm sure.
I'm thinking there's something else there, honestly, is what I'm thinking. Because Chase U in general was over as hell. I'm hoping we don't see Andre Chase get released soon because I do like Andre Chase.
Yeah.
We basically get another promo with Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura getting tired of Fraxium ducking them. OTM has been nowhere to be found since they kicked their ass. Nathan Frazier says that Briggs and Inamura have to prove to them they are worthy of getting a tag title shot instead of running their mouths all the time.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. So also at the Royal Rumble, and they talked about it on Tuesday at NXT, there's a new show coming on. WWE Evolve.
Which sounds pretty damn interesting.
On Wednesday nights on Tubi.
And we love Tubi.
Yes, but it's one of those funny things where for a couple of months there, people were so excited because AEW is getting this brand new show on Tubi, on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
On Fox and this stuff. And WWE, Fox doesn't even want WWE anymore. That's why they got rid of them, blah, blah, blah. Who owns Tubi?
Yep.
Fox owns Tubi.
They sure do.
On Wednesday nights.
That wasn't a kick in the balls. I don't know what is, man.
That's the biggest fuck you to AEW you could possibly handle. Oh, I got the biggest kick in the balls for AEW. And this makes me laugh. They got that show coming up in a couple of weeks in Australia.
Yeah.
The show that was supposed to be in a 50,000 seat stadium that got moved to an arena because they only sold like 7,000 tickets, if that.
Yep.
So the Australian fans are pissed because they claim, and this is people online, or they are basically saying they feel like they've been scammed by AEW and Tony Khan.
Yeah.
Because when he first announced this show, and he came on, he had an interview over the weekend and said that he did not announce it as a pay-per-view.
I recall him announcing it as a pay-per-view, though.
Oh, they have the audio. Somebody put up the audio recording of him on the Full Gear media call, calling it a pay-per-view. So now it's not even an episode of Dynamite. It's fucking Collision.
What the fuck?
He's flying all these people, production and everything, to Australia for a show that literally just got 196,000 viewers. So now you've already killed the Chicago market, which in America, Chicago is the biggest wrestling market you could possibly have.
Yeah, you can't fuck around with Chicago, man. You just can't do it.
Like, you pissed them off because you fired their patron saint.
Yeah.
And now you give a giant middle finger to Australia by giving them not even the C show.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Like, you can't write this shit no more.
Nope. The shit that they're just doing to themselves, man. Tony's such a moron.
And that's the thing. I've been saying it for years is, they have some talent down there. You're pushing the wrong guys. Stop pushing the old WWE guys.
I'll tell you what, Tony. Tony, if you're listening, I know you're not, but if you are, me and Steven will buy it from you for $1 and fix your whole company, and then you can pay us a shit ton of money and we'll give it back to you when we're done.
Nah, he ain't listening. He's on his yacht.
I don't give a shit. We can do a better job than him by far.
They released a video of Shahid Khan's like $300 million yacht, and it's got like a basketball court on it and a tennis court.
Dude.
Yeah. Like it's fucking ridiculous. But hire somebody, and this is the thing, he can fix it himself. He just doesn't, his ego won't let him.
I know.
Hire
Ted
somebody,
Turner much?
Ted Turner hired people who knew how to run wrestling.
Yeah, but it took him a bit to do it.
Well, it took him a bit to find somebody who wasn't like stuck in the 70s and 80s booking style,
True.
I like Bill Watts. Bill Watts, Mid-South wrestling in Oklahoma and Texas was great in the 80s. You can't bring Bill Watts in 1993, 1992, 93 and expect him to save your company because the first thing he fucking does is put his damn son on TV.
Yeah, but I mean, did Bischoff really do that much better?
He did. He beat WWE for 83 weeks.
I mean, he did, but also was a big part of the reason why WCW folded.
I will never agree with that one. Only because he wasn't involved with WCW when they closed. He was trying to buy the company, but
but he set up a lot of shit for things to go a certain way when he left. And had friends still there to do it for him,
A lot of shit came down with Vince Russo. That's
oh yeah.
Vince Russo kind of looks like a scumbag.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember or not, but back in the 90s on Nitro, they had a cruiserweight tournament, and they put Medusa in the cruiserweight tournament.
Yep.
And first round match, it was her versus Evan Courageous. And every time Evan grabbed her or something, they kept doing like sexual shit.
Yep.
Like he grabbed her from behind in a German and she starts rubbing her ass up against him to the point where the match ends with her kissing him.
Yeah, I remember that.
Evan didn't want to do it. Medusa didn't want to do it. That was a Vince Russo thing. Because Vince Russo basically had no respect for women.
Yep.
Especially,
like
back
Vince.
In the 90s. He flat out said, there was he was the reason why the Nitro Girls started wrestling. None of them wanted to wrestle. They didn't want to get in the ring. They just wanted to dance and get paid.
Yep.
But Vince Russo said, if you're going to wrestle on this if you're going to be on this roster and I'm going to pay you, you're going to wrestle. He put Miss Elizabeth in a fucking match.
I know. I remember.
Like, Jesus. But we've gotten way off track.
That happens.
So our third match of the night, Sol Ruca and Zarya versus Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley. And it was, again, okay match. Gigi Dolan's she's not bad in the ring, but god damn, she is good to look at.
Mm-hmm. I know who she is.
I apologize, Zach, and ahead of time, but yeah, Gigi Dolan's hot.
Yeah.
But Sol Ruca and Zarya end up with the win after Zarya hits the F5 onto Dolan. Ruka, and then Soul Ruka connects with that fucking beautiful finisher, the Soul Snatcher.
Man, that thing is gorgeous. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Months ago, Matt had caught it, like a video of it, and showed it to me and to Michelle, and we were like beside ourselves watching it, dude. Like I must have watched the clip he showed me of like 5 or 6 times in a row. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that is just such a badass finisher.
Yeah, I won't forget her name, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, she'll be out. She'll be on the roster here in about a year or two.
It's both elegant as fuck and terrifying at the same time.
Yes. We get a video recap of Julia and Stephanie Vacquer's performances in the Women's Rumble.
Yeah.
Sarah Schreiber is doing a backstage interview with Trick Williams. Trick hasn't seen Oba Femi all day, but it's all good because they don't need to plan or strategize. Basically, they're doing the whole, I'm feuding with you, but we're going to be tag team partners tonight. We're going to go after these other two little assholes.
Yeah.
Basically, next Saturday at Vengeance Day, Oba Femi is defending the NXT title against both Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. So that is our main event for Vengeance Day next week.
Austin Theory took a hard left turn into Shitville, man.
He needs to get away from Grayson. But
no, I'm just saying, like, they were pumping him hard toward the end of the Vince era. I mean, Vince was pumping him hard.
But yeah, he's a Vince guy, and I think that's why they took the gas off him a little bit, because they want to kind of separate him from the Vince era and that. I think he'll come back. He'll come back though. Yeah, did you see that shit last weekend too with the updates to the lawsuit?
Yeah. Yep.
People went crazy. Royal Rumble Day, they tried, like AEW, the AEW fans tried to go crazy and tried to push a narrative, and it failed.
Big time.
Because they're sitting here, they're basically trying to make it, trying to sit here and say that Triple H knew what was going on and all that good stuff. He shared a wall. Basically, they're trying to say that he was named in the lawsuit, and he wasn't. He was only, his name came out in the lawsuit because he shared a wall with the woman.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, how was he supposed to automatically know what's going on if he just hears two people having sex in the next room?
Yeah.
If he heard anything, he's probably just, if anything, he's probably just sitting there going, there's Vince being an asshole again.
Yep.
How's he supposed to know that this woman is quote unquote doing what she doesn't want to do?
Right.
And then Brock Lesnar. People were going off about Brock Lesnar. It's like, dude hasn't done, he was not named in the lawsuit either.
Nope.
They
thought he might. It was believed that he might be at one point in time, but he wasn't.
Yeah. Well, the thing with him is, at most, he got pictures.
Yeah.
We don't know if he asked for them. We don't know if Vince just made her give it to him.
Yeah, we had no idea.
Because he was trying desperately to sign Brock. And let's face it, Brock doesn't want to fucking wrestle anymore. Brock doesn't want to leave Canada anymore.
No.
Like, Brock is the kind of guy who basically he's got a shit ton of land in Canada, goes hunting. I've got his seasoning for that bearded man seasoning. I've got his brand seasoning, and it's actually pretty fucking good.
Nice.
But he doesn't want to wrestle anymore, and he could give two shits. And the funny thing is, the people who were bad-mouthing him and bashing him all weekend would never say it to his fucking face.
Oh, fuck no.
Because he would just pound him into jelly.
Yep.
He's not the kind of guy.
And bury you on his expansive property. They would never find your body.
Like I said, I listened to a podcast called The Lapse Fan, who they go and they do kind of what we did here for our first episode of Hardcore Heels, where they go through and they review old wrestling shows, except they do it a lot more thoroughly than we do. Like, their podcasts are 6 to 7 hours long.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like these guys will go through it and a lot of information. Well, the guy, Jack, one of the hosts, Jack Encarnacio, used to host a show, an MMA show like at his college campus or somewhere out there, or on the online. And he interviewed Brock for one of his shows, and he asked Brock something about does he think like wrestling or losing in MMA will affect his wrestling career at all? And he basically just goes, "I really don't give a shit."
Yeah.
And he doesn't. Brock doesn't want to wrestle. He doesn't care.
Nope.
He doesn't care. He's done his thing. He just wants to go enjoy the rest of his life killing elk and grilling them on the grill.
Yeah. Leave the man alone.
Yes. So basically, that's what's going on with that. Ava has decided that Javon Evans and Ethan Page can settle their issues at Vengeance Day if Evans is medically cleared to compete from his broken jaw.
Right.
So now we get the next segment. Roxanne Perez comes out, or Bailey comes out. Roxanne Perez comes out after her. Roxanne basically, they're about to introduce Julia, and Roxanne interrupts them and says, wants to talk about her runner-up performance at the Rumble because she was in the match for 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 47 seconds.
Right.
She says, "That's right. I broke the record for the longest time spent in Rumble history, and that's breaking Bailey's record."
Yep.
So Julia can wait right now because this is about you and me. Yeah, there's been a pretty big feud brewing between Roxanne Perez and Bailey the past few weeks.
Oh yeah, I've heard bits about it.
Yeah, not only on NXT but on Raw and on SmackDown.
Yeah.
It goes back and forth. Julia comes out. She says enough. Roxanne, you are nothing without a title. Bailey, trust me, I will beat you two at Vengeance Day. One of you will survive the beautiful madness. Basically, keep it short and sweet with Julia. I don't think Julia can speak much English yet.
Right, yeah.
We keep it short and sweet. And then the music hits. And NXT gives her gives Charlotte Flair a much better reaction than the fans in Cleveland did.
Good.
She gets pretty much a standing ovation. They welcome her, back to NXT. She says Mama has come home.
Yeah.
And talks about, the Rumble and all the participants in the match for next week. We do got a triple threat match for the women's title next Saturday at Vengeance Day. It's Bailey versus Roxanne Perez versus Julia.
Okay.
After Charlotte cuts her promo, Cora Jade appears from behind and starts attacking Bailey and Julia with a kendo stick.
Oh, damn.
Cora Jade poses with the NXT women's title and then goes after Roxanne, her friend. So I have a feeling that triple threat is going to be a 4-way by next week.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
So the segment ends, and next week on NXT, Josh Briggs, Yoshiki Inamura will battle Hank Walker and Tank and the No Quarter Catch Crew in a triple threat match. I'm assuming the winner goes on to face Fraxium at Vengeance Day.
Makes sense.
Ridge Holland wants another shot at the NXT North American title. Izzy Dane suggests that this match should take place in a steel cage.
Ooh.
The Don says that he doesn't need his family to beat Ridge, so I'm assuming at Vengeance Day we're getting Ridge Holland and Tony D'Angelo in a cage.
Yep.
Vengeance Day is shaping up to be a good card.
Yeah.
Moving on to our next match, Kalani Jordan, the new attitude, Kalani Jordan versus Carmen Petrovic with Ashante the Adonis. Decent match. They're good, but Petrovic I think is still a little green. Kalani Jordan's actually really good. Halfway through the match, Jada Parker comes out, and Kalani Jordan stares at her. Jumps back in the ring, hits the two-legged moonsault, or two split-leg moonsaults, and makes Petrovic tap out to the rear naked choke.
Damn.
After the match, Kalani Jordan reapplies the rear naked choke. The referee reverses his decision of the match, and now Carmen Petrovic has won via referee decision, which doesn't sit well with Kalani Jordan.
No, of course not.
Come back from commercials. Stephanie Becker says that she's going to make history at NXT Vengeance Day. Neither JC Jane or Jasmine Nix will be able to save Fallon Henley. Stephanie tells Fallon that she'll see her in hell.
Hell's Dungeon?
Hell's Dungeon? Hell in a Cell? We do not know. Bailey storms into Ava's office. Bailey wants a match with Cora Jade. So next week we get Bailey and Cora Jade just because.
Yeah.
A-Town Down Under start bickering with each other about who's walking out of NXT Vengeance Day as the NXT champion. As we move to our main event, Oba Femi and Trick Williams versus A-Town Down Under.
Right.
This ended up being a good match. Again, Trick Williams, flat out modern day Booker T. Does a lot of Booker T's moves. I think Booker T trained him.
Oh yeah.
Booker T in his reality of wrestling is producing a lot of stars lately.
Oh, big time.
Roxanne Perez, a student of Booker T and Stevie Ray. I believe, like I said, I believe Trick Williams. I believe Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
Has also trained there. I'm not 100% on that, but it's he's got a good thing going on. Him and his brother have a good thing going on down there.
Oh yeah.
But like I said, it's a good match. Definitely the match starts out with Trick smacking Obafemi. Like Obafemi was going to start, and Trick did the smack him on the chest to tag himself in.
Yeah.
They start fighting, and just Obafemi is so fucking good. He is such a badass. Halfway through the match, Eddie Thorpe interferes. Eddie Thorpe, I don't know why he's even in the main event picture right now. Basically, he interferes as Trick is going for his finisher. Eddie Thorpe attacks him with the leather strap while the referee's back was turned. Grayson Waller connects with the roll through flatliner to pick up the victory. I hate that finisher.
It's not great.
No, I like Grayson Waller. He's really good on the mic. Decent wrestler. Get a new finisher, dude.
Yeah.
If you have to start your finisher on the outside of the ring, not a good.
It's already too much. Yeah.
Yeah. After the match, Thorpe transitions into a ground and pound attack and just basically starts whipping Trick Williams with the leather strap as the show goes off the air. Winner of the match, A-Town Down Under. So I'm also thinking at Vengeance Day we're probably going to get a strap match between Eddie Thorpe and Trick Williams. It's going to be a decent show next week.
Definitely.
So that's your weekly wrap up for WWE. Not really much happened in the on the indies this week because everybody was focused on Royal Rumble and that.
Oh yeah.
One show I did want to cover that happened in Indy was the Wrestling Revolver show, Wrestling Revolver Square Game, from the Fountain Square Theater in Indianapolis. I didn't get a chance to watch it again because I had just finished the podcast and I had to cook dinner.
Right.
But basically, Gringo Loco defeats Jake Crist 8 minutes and 2 seconds. First Class, the team of AJ Francis, that's Top Dollar from WWE. Casey Navarro and Rich Swann defeat the team of Alpha Sigma Sigma, Brent Oakley and Casey Jacobs. I have no fucking clue who these guys are. And BDE in 11 minutes. Masha Slamovich defeats Ace Austin in 9 minutes, 56 seconds. Tommy Dreamer defeats Damian Chambers with Kayla Cassidy in 9 minutes and 39 seconds. Man,
damn, man.
So you're making Tommy work for 9 minutes, Jesus.
Yeah, man. Shit.
So last week, Jake Something was the Pro Wrestling Revolver Remix champion. He had to vacate the title due to injury. So one of the things Rockstar used to have a lot, and that's the thing, Revolver and Rockstar are kind of like neck and neck because Jake Christ used to be the booker of Rockstar. Wrestling Revolver is Sammy Callahan's company, who's essentially brothers with the Christs. They've done a lot of stuff together. So Rockstar used to love the scramble match. And so does Pro Wrestling Revolver because they had a scramble match to name a new champion. So Crash Jackson defeats Braden Lee, Dark Pledge with Killer Kelly, Dex Royal, Jeffrey, John, and Leon Ruffin to win the vacant Pro Wrestling Revolver Remix Championship. So congratulations to Crash Jackson.
That's awesome, man.
It is. He's a good dude. I've seen. I think I saw him a couple of times. Steve Macklin with Killer Kelly defeats Paul Walter Hauser in the street. I believe that was a street fight.
I know who he is.
Yeah, and then for the Revolver Championship, Myron Reed retains against Trey Miguel, 13 minutes and 55 seconds. And again, the Rockstar fan in me was so happy for that match.
Oh yeah.
Like it was cool. It's just awesome to see these guys that I went watching and watched these guys wrestling their first matches and things like that. Like Wesley, he was going to retire, and then the Chris brothers talked him out of it and had him come to Rockstar, and then from there he went to CZW. From there he went to TNA, and now he's in NXT and WWE. Zachary Wentz, I remember him as this scrawny little security guard at Rockstar. Watched him wrestle his first match. Watched him be what we used to call him Little Dave Christ, because you swore to God they were twins. Went on again CZW, TNA, went to NXT. Then his crazy ass ex-wife got him fired.
Yeah.
Joke's on her. She's about to go. She's still waiting for trial for her DUI and assaulting a police officer.
Right. So she may not be around much more.
Oh no, she's like completely off social media and everything. Like she had an OnlyFans and all that good stuff, and all that shit went bye-bye after that incident. And the thing about it is, I don't think she got DUI. I think she just got the assaulting a police officer, because she really wasn't a drinker, but she was a pothead.
Oh yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. But in Florida, it is still illegal.
This is true.
So have you seen any of that stuff with Joey Janela?
I don't know.
The fight from last weekend?
No, I don't think I have.
All right. Like I said, I don't believe that this is a copyrighted video, so I think we might actually get away with showing it. Do we take the chance?
That's the question, though.
Like I don't,
because that hurts bad if it goes badly.
We won't share it then. I'll share it to the website or something. But here I can send it to you at least.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you can send it to me.
Yeah, I can send it to you at least. Let me get it back up here. It's kind of a bitch fight. It's really not anything. Yeah, that's just there it is. Trying to see how much of this it shows. It doesn't really show much of it. Look it up. If you can look it up on YouTube, you might be able to find it better than I can.
Okay, yeah.
It's a guy named Dylan Bostic. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. It was at the before the GCW show. Him and Joey Janela and Dylan Bostic have been talking shit to each other for a couple of years now. To the point where Joey Janela has told Dylan Bostic that it was going to be a fight on site when he sees him.
Yeah.
From what I understand, Dylan Bostic is like an MMA guy. Well, at Friday night at the GCW show before the show starts, Bostic comes up to his table, to his merch table, and just fucking flips it on him. And then they just start fucking throwing punches. Joey Janela gets him to the ground. Two other guys are now stomping Dylan Bostic's head, but Joey has him in a fucking chokehold. So,
damn.
In all essence, Joey Janela won the fight.
Yeah.
Because he had him in the chokehold before the other two guys started, like, basically stomping his ass.
Right. It's crazy,
yeah,
man.
all this shit happened in front of fans. Like, at a meet and greet.
Oh, we almost forgot the big behind-the-scenes thing that happened at the Royal Rumble.
And what's that?
The Drew thing.
That's only rumor at this point, though. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know how true it is yet.
A lot more people have been reporting on it every day. I even saw even more about it today, where a lot of people had reported that he was angry about something, and he stormed the fuck out and left.
Well, it seems like the only thing I can see from what they're talking about him being mad is Logan Paul basically posing to the fans for a little longer than he really should have been.
No, from what I read today, confirmed a lot of it with a lot of other wrestlers and stuff behind the scenes. Was that the problem was LA Knight? Because here's the difference between what's being said and some of the things that Drew and other people have said versus reality here. He thinks, from what I can gather from all the sides right now, is that he was pissed at LA Knight, thinking LA Knight was trying to get himself over more. But what it breaks down to was timing. Some people's timing were off. When certain people were supposed to be in certain positions in the ring, like normal, you practice like normal with the Rumble. And for some reason, LA Knight was a little bit behind. So Drew was supposed to have gone out before the next person had even come in. But because LA Knight was a little bit behind on his schedule, the Damien putting out Drew was supposed to be a much larger thing, but actually got bumped into by Knight.
Well, it also...
So Drew freaks out thinking that, I mean, again, supposedly, the reason we know he stormed out for sure, but they're saying the reason is because he was like flipping out about Knight. And then apparently some other wrestlers also had mentioned that, Knight was behind on his timing. Some said that it might be because he was trying to get over, or it's just that that the Rumble can be very chaotic sometimes.
I think I know what you're talking about, because basically it should have been, like you said, it should have been a much bigger moment, because that is the feud going forward is Drew and Damian Priest.
But because it didn't happen how it was supposed to, it ended up being kind of downplayed as a result from the timing issues.
Well, because it didn't come off on screen as a big of a moment or a big of issue as it should have been.
Right, but at the same time, like when you got crazy shit like that going in the Royal Rumble, for all we know, another person was off, and that's what threw Knight off. I didn't get the vibe that Knight was showboating or trying to put himself over or anything like that.
It's in all honesty, if he's upset or anything like that, it's probably something that'll just blow over. Like
probably
the internet's more than likely overreacting to it.
Yeah,
they don't do that ever.
Yeah, but it also wouldn't be the first time that Drew got really upset about something behind the scenes and stormed out.
Yeah, but I mean, he'll come back. He's on the run of a lifetime right now. Like his career. I love heel Drew.
Yeah, me too. He's hilarious too.
He really is online in that. Like, I loved all the shit he was doing to Punk last year, like all the trolling he was doing, and it's brilliant.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I got a feeling it'll end up being a nothing. Like it'll just it'll blow over or whatever. But I can see what they're saying because if I remember right, the camera focused on something else as Damien was throwing him over, and even at the time I was like, man, that seems like it should have been a lot more important than it really comes off as.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I would love to see Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest go at it.
Yeah.
That's a good match right there.
It would be.
But yeah, I mean that's. So that's the other thing I wanted to look up real quick because there is a rumored list about the Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah, I mean we know H is.
Yeah,
is in it for sure.
Triple H is the headliner this year.
Yep.
So with that being said, you're not going to get like the Hardy Boys aren't going to go in this year. They'll headline another year.
Oh yeah.
John Cena won't go in this year. I mean, I can't imagine them putting John Cena in the same year as where John Cena's not going to be the headliner.
Oh no.
I think next year is John Cena's year.
Yeah.
But somebody brought up Miss Elizabeth, possibly. It's a stretch because I know her family hates the wrestling business, like not WWE, but the wrestling business in general.
Yeah.
But
it kind of ruined her life and got her killed. So
But if anybody could talk her into it, I think somebody brought it up too. If anybody could talk the family into it, it would be Triple H. And because he's already got Bruno. He already got Bruno back in the company while Vince was there. The Warrior, Ultimate Warrior, got to go in before he died. Sting.
Yeah, that was because of H.
Yeah, he got a lot of people back in the company or back in the good graces of the company. Bret Hart, because with Vince gone, a lot of people have much more positive things to say about WWE right now.
Yep.
And if anybody could get them to at least allow her to go into the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
Somebody did say apparently there is a list out there that has like Armando Estrada on it, Umaga's manager.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know.
I didn't care much about Estrada, honestly.
No, nobody cared about him. Everybody wanted to see Umaga.
Yeah.
And there's it's getting really thin. The people who kind of deserve to be in there, like I still don't think Coco Beware deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But
I do because he was just such a big part of the 80s Flash WWF, like.
I mean, he was. I used to love him as a kid. Don't get me wrong. I love him and Frankie.
Yep.
But I mean, there's other people out there.
Yeah, but I mean, he's every bit as deserving as the Honky Tonk Man was,
I think someone said somebody mentioned Kevin Sullivan going in, but he never worked for WWF. So if they put him in, I think it would be one of those legacy things.
Yeah, it could be.
He deserves to be in the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame because he brought a lot to the table, whether you believe he killed, whether you believe there were conspiracy theories between him and Benoit.
Yeah.
Or not. He 100%, brought a lot to the table.
Yeah.
When it came to wrestling, he did a lot of great booking, Yeah. We're gonna ignore the Dungeon of Doom stuff, but
yeah.
That was a lot. A lot of that was Hogan too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big time.
That cartoony shit.
Yep.
And there's just a bunch of people. There's people. I think it's going to be interesting to see because I know even last year they didn't have many people go in. And Paul Heyman was the headliner last year.
Almost say it. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump goes in.
He's already in.
I know, but again.
Nah, you can't put him in again.
I mean, there's other things you can put him in for technically. He technically was, but was not part of a tag team in the 80s. Or a manager, actually, technically.
Yeah, but I think he just if you're gonna do anything with it, he stays in the celebrity wing. I think honestly,
That's true. Yeah.
he just stays in the celebrity wing. Especially with I'm not no. Don't want to bring politics or anything.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. Listen, I dislike Trump solely because of being a child in the '80s and seeing his how he was involved with wrestling, because he played a character in wrestling that you were supposed to dislike.
Yeah.
And whether that was just him playing his real personality or he was good at it, it made me dislike him as a child. And because of wrestling, when you dislike someone, that's kind of for life.
Oh yeah, 100%.
This is not political at all. That's just I grew up with him being a bad guy,
Oh yeah. But there's people. I mean, I'm sure they'll build. I mean, it's Triple H. He'll build a good class to go in with.
Yeah.
I would love to see Miss Elizabeth go in. I'd love to somehow. I don't think it'll happen, but I'd love to see Owen go in at some point.
Yeah.
But his wife is too busy cashing checks from Dixie Con. So.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see some maybe, I'd love to see the Hardy Boys go in, but I think they're headliners.
Yeah, they are. They are. Is Luna in? I can't remember if Luna Vachon's in.
Yes, Luna Vachon is in.
Okay, I could not remember.
I think they put her in right after she passed.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I do remember.
But you know who's not in?
Who?
Demolition.
Oh, this could be a great time for Demolition, actually.
Demolition is not in, and not Barry Darso, the other guy, Axe. Had a big falling out with Vince.
He did.
He had a big falling out with Vince, so we'll see that.
I remember when it was Axe, Smash, and Crush for a bit.
Yes. Before Crush became the Hawaiian guy, the Hawaiian.
Yep. The first Falls Count Anywhere match with Macho Man, if I recall correctly.
In WWF, yes.
Yep.
I don't even know Crush is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think for some old WWF. Hell, put AJ Styles in. He's not got too much.
Yeah, but they don't usually put you in when you're still wrestling.
Rey Mysterio.
Okay, so Ray's been doing it for so goddamn long that that man's gonna die in the ring. There's never going to be a time where you can be like, okay, well, we should put Ray in now because he's not wrestling anymore. And it's like, but isn't he?
But you got to remember, Rey Mysterio ain't but like 42.
I know, but...
No, he's old. He's older than that, but...
Well, he started when he was like, what, 15, 16?
Yeah. Yeah, he was
So,
young.
I mean, he started so young that he's outlived a lot of people's careers.
Dude, he's 50.
Yeah, that makes more sense, yeah.
He's still moving like that at 50.
That's what I'm saying. There is no good time to put Ray in because he's never going to not be wrestling. So they kind of did what I think they needed to do.
Good God. And he's had how many fucking knee surgeries and he still moves like that at 50?
Yep.
Oh, that's the other one, Vicky Guerrero.
Yeah, they could put Vicky in.
Yeah, they could definitely put Vicky in,
I'd still like to see Chavo,
I don't see why they haven't put Chavo. I think because Chavo, I don't know. I don't even think Chavo wrestles anymore, anyways. I mean, he did go to AEW for a little bit there, so that could be why they.
But that's why I'm strongly thinking that he might be the guy that Dom is hooking Gable up with.
It's possible. It's very possible. But yeah, Chavo go in, Vicky go in, Miss Elizabeth. You got and Demolition. That'd be a damn good class right there.
It would be a hell of a class, man.
Because I'm 100% one of the people who think Demolition's in the top five.
Oh, I love Demolition. They were one of my favorite tag teams as a kid, man. I loved them.
Yes, you put the Midnights up there. I still think the Steiners are the best tag team ever. I know a lot of people go for the Midnights or the Road Warriors.
Actually, when I was a kid, I'd have told you it was the Killer Bees.
Oh, come on, dude. You're going to piss
I fucking love the Bees. I'm just saying,
The ghost of the
I
Iron
love
Sheik
the
is
bees.
I know. The ghost of the Iron Sheik is gonna come back and he's gonna put you in the camel clutch while you're sleeping tonight. He fucking hates Brian Blair so much.
I know. But they were a good tag team when I was growing up. You know, that was my dad's favorite tag team.
They were
Them and
popular.
Rock and Roll Express.
I used to have a conversation, talk to just, my buddy's son grew up in, he's probably in the 2000s and things like that. I don't even think he got to see the end of WCW. That's how young he is.
Yeah, so kind of like Matt.
But he used to watch ECW with his dad all the time.
Mm.
And him and his buddy were huge Rob Van Dam, RVD, and
I fucking
Taz.
love RVD.
Him and his buddy would pretend to be RVD and Taz, and they'd wrestle and everything. I'm like, well, I said, I'm going to age myself. Me and my buddy used to wrestle in the front yard, and we'd pretend to be the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah.
And we would just take turns. We'd be wrestling around, and then when it's time to tag, he would have to run over to where the tag area was, and I have to crawl over, pretending to get beat up. Tag him in, and then I'd have to start playing the bad guy.
Yep.
And I was a huge Rock and Roll Express fan back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Me too, man.
And then I love the Road. I'm not going to lie. I love the Road Warriors. I was a huge
Road
Warrior fan. No selling as much as they did.
Yeah.
But, yeah, 100%. I will always put, though, I know, like I said, a lot of people always put the Midnight Express as number one. Not for me. At Midnight Express is in the top 5. They are 100% in the top 5. I still think the Steiner brothers are the best tag team of all time.
I think the Rockers had a chance to be in the top 3 at least. Had a chance.
They did.
And I feel like Marty Jannetty really shed on that chance. But, had he not have, we wouldn't have got Sean the way we got Sean. So, thankful for that.
Oh, come on! Are you trying to say you're a little disturbed by the fact that he found out the girl he thought was his daughter wasn't his daughter, and the first thing he thought to do was bang her?
Yep.
And make a post on Twitter going, "Hey, she's not my daughter. You think I should bang her?"
Yep.
And of course, the internet gave him a resounding no.
Yeah. Nope. That's weird, dude. It's still weird. You're right. You helped raise her.
Yeah. Like, you thought she was. This didn't just come out of nowhere, dude. Were you thinking about banging her when you still thought she was your daughter?
He had to have been. There's no way he wasn't. I bet he was one of those guys that was like, if you were my daughter.
Yeah. But I mean, he was always he's a crazy motherfucker to anyways.
Yep. Unhinged as fuck.
I would my top. I don't even know a particular order. Like I said, Steiner's number one would definitely be number one. Midnight's would be up there. Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
It would be the Dudleys and the Hardy Boys.
Yep. But sadly, you did not mention my favorite tag team of all time. So.
And who's that? I mean, Demolition up there too, though.
Fucking Outsiders, man.
They were good. I wish if Kevin Nash could have done more. I think
Vince was a big problem with Nash too, just as big a problem as Hall. Sorry, Vince was just as big of a problem for Hall as Hall was for himself.
No, I'm talking about if Nash could have done more moves. That was my only.
And Nash could have done more moves, yeah. But I mean, the thing is, he had Hall.
Yeah.
The way they were constructed as a team was perfect, but Hall being not really to keep his alcoholism under control, and then he finally gets it under control and gets forced into that fucking storyline where he gets abducted by Stone Cold and have beer dumped all over his face, and then fell off the wagon after that because he was told he couldn't take the medicine that makes him sick when he was smelling it because he was in the beer gardens. He'd get sick before matches.
Yeah.
Because Vince told him it's either this medication or it's your career. He chose his career, then got stuck in that fucking shit, which was the same exact storyline they did with Jake the Snake and Jerry Lawler. And it worked out the same fucking way where Jake fell off the wagon again right after.
And then the same one they tried to do with Jeff Hardy and CM Punk.
Yep. It was a repeated thing that he fucking did to people, and it was basically torture.
But yeah, like I said, I definitely put Demolition up there. I mean, Outsiders to me would be in the top 10. They definitely be top 10 just because of what they brought to the industry, the NWO storyline and everything before everybody and their fucking brothers started joining. Like the
Fuck
NWO,
Hogan. They were the NWO, dude. That's why they split off and did Wolfpack, because they're like, dude, Hogan, the rest of you guys, y'all done fucked this up, so we're gonna take it back.
Oh no, they 100%. Like they had two plans the night of Bash at the Beach '96.
Yeah.
Hogan is the one that called Bischoff and said, "I know who your third guy is gonna be. It's gonna be me." And Bischoff was basically just like, "You sure about this? You're gonna have to be a bad guy." You know, and Hogan's just basically like, well, dude, they're already fucking booing me anyways.
Right, right. What's the big deal?
Yeah, they were 100% booing him out of arenas because, you know, people were, and they were booing him in, you know, 1993 when he left WWF because people were they were sick of it.
Yep.
Not, you know, it wasn't him. It was just, we're sick of the same shtick.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, 100%. Hall and Nash were what made the NWO cool, and Hogan just happened to tag along.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, that relaunched Sting in a lot of ways because Sting's career was getting old and fucking tired, and then he launched new Sting, Crow Sting, and that revitalized him completely.
Well, that also helped Sting too because we can't pretend that Sting was ever a good promo.
He was never a good promo.
Getting to go for a year or so without having to talk.
Yeah, he just showed up,
It kind of benefits, benefited Sting by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, there's great things happening right now in everywhere. WWE. WWE, NXT, independents, AEW is still crashing and burning, but
AEW couldn't even get Dude Love. I'm just gonna say it.
No. The thing is AEW is just they're doing it to themselves at this point. And somebody made a point the other day, because they just released that big video of Shahid Khan's brand new $300 million yacht.
I heard about that, yeah.
And they basically, a lot of the AEW hardcores online or the trolls were basically going around saying, see all this money they have, AEW will never go away. It's not going to be up to them.
Nope.
That's the thing. Yeah, you can only throw so much money at a problem.
Mm-hmm. Again, back to Ted Turner.
The problem you're going to have is how long is Warner Brothers Discovery going to put up with the failures?
Yep. And they've already had way too many failures as a company, which is why they rebranded 3 times in the last 5 years.
AEW Dynamite's numbers haven't really changed, but we're being told to believe that millions of people are now watching it on HBO. I mean, fucking I'm sorry.
Warner Brothers launched that entire paid streaming service that failed.
Yeah, it's still. I mean, Max is.
And they have a lot of financial. No, I'm not talking about Max. Yeah. They had one that was just DC, and it failed.
Well, yeah, because
they ended up combining it into Max after it failed. They lost a lot of money. They did all that shit with DC where they were losing money hand over fist, canceling productions when they were done, lost their shit, restaffed a bunch of their major players, including their president.
Yeah, and that was my other point.
They were losing their ass so bad that they're now saying that what was supposed to save them was the Harry Potter spinoff franchise, Fantastic Beasts. And all the shit that had that boiled down, it ruined the movie before the last one even came out, and they've already canceled the series. So now you're looking at, what do they got? Of course, they got Game of Thrones and all that shit. Sure, House of Dragons doing well. And then you've got the new Harry Potter franchise that everybody's, both excited and worried about.
And that's going to
Hulu. No, it's gonna be on Max.
That was a Hulu exclusive.
No, it's Max. Max is hardcore pushing it as a Max exclusive. And then you've got, the new you know, the new people, running DC, which looks like it's going to actually fix DC again. So I think they took AEW thinking this was going to boost them up in the meantime. And I think once their shit, the Harry Potter thing comes out later this year and everything else hits, I think their company is going to be in a lot better situation. They're going to look at AEW and be like, yeah, you didn't bring the numbers we needed you to bring when we needed it. So bye.
See, I think it's going to be opposite of that. I think the only reason AEW even got the new contract is because Warner Brothers, TBS, TNT lost the NBA contract. If they had,
they won a major sport of some kind, sure.
Yeah. Well, they still got NHL. They still got Major League Baseball. They've got like one NFL playoff game, I think.
Yeah, but you're talking about some seasonal sports, whereas wrestling's all year round.
And you got NASCAR. They got a couple of NASCAR races. I think if they hadn't lost the NBA contract, there's no way in hell AEW gets another contract.
That's true. That's true.
I don't think there was any way in hell they were going to get it because, like you just said, they're fucking hemorrhaging money right now.
Yep.
Like you're talking, you're not talking millions of dollars. You're talking billions of dollars lost per quarter. Mm-hmm. Not even per year, but per quarter. They lost $9 billion in one quarter.
One of their biggest cash cows was the game division they launched.
Yeah.
Hogwarts Legacy alone is a video game, dude. Kept them from fucking having to shutter more departments.
I mean, you're talking about a company that was it last year or the year before? They had The Flash. It was done. They were bringing back Michael Keaton as Batman.
No, they did do that one.
No, they canceled it. They didn't release it.
They did release the Flash movie. Everyone's seen it. It was the Batwoman movie that they finished and canceled because Michael Keaton was supposed to be in that one as well. Okay. And from what I understand, the movie was amazing, and everybody involved with it loved it. They canceled it because they wanted to take the insurance on it. The canceled production because they knew that no matter how good it wasn't going to make as enough money as it would if they canceled it and took the insurance.
Yeah, and
it pissed everybody the fuck off.
Well, my thing is that I don't think it's if James Gunn can't save Warner Brothers with the DC, which I don't think Warner Brothers itself is going to go under. I think they're going to end up selling the TV. That's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to end up selling Time Warner because I think they realized how big they fucked up by merging with Time Warner. And the thing is, if something happens where either Warner Brothers goes under, which I'm hoping they don't because that new Superman movie with James Gunn looks so good.
It does, and plus he's promised us in the first run of movies a Swamp Thing movie, so I'm all over that.
Yes. If Warner
they've got another potential cash cow. Unfortunately, the person in charge of CW got rid of all the superhero shows. They canceled pretty much everything because they wanted to go more towards unscripted reality stuff because it makes some more money, less production. But Supernatural's looking to come back.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I've seen they're bringing that back. I think we were talking. I think me and Friday talked about that last Friday. They want to come back to CW, but there's no way they're going to come back to CW. But what they could come back to if Warner plays their cards right is Max. Yeah.
And that would save their asses because just running the reruns of it, as long as they have on fucking Netflix, has earned Netflix a fuck ton of money. And let's also not forget Dolly Parton and Sarah Michelle Gellar has released that there is going to be a Buffy reboot with Sarah Michelle Gellar. Which was also a WB show.
Isn't she a little old to play teenager?
Well, no. I mean, it's a reboot in the way that it's more, I guess, from what I understand, more of a continuation.
So her older, basically.
Yeah.
I'd be more behind it if she played the new Giles or something. I think I'd be a little more behind that with that.
Well, I mean, at the very end of the TV show, there was many Slayers now. There can be multiple Slayers now. So it would make sense if she was a Slayer, but in that Giles role. Like what you're saying. like, like guiding the new Slayer. I think that's the vibe I'm getting right now, because she said no for years until out of nowhere she got a phone call and agreed to do a lunch with the new person that's wanting to write it, to pitch the idea. And she said that what was supposed to be a quick lunch turned into a 4-hour thing. She just posted today on social media. She said it turned into a fucking 4-hour long meeting, which has been a slew of meetings with more people involved since then. And it was Dolly Parton's production company that originally produced the show. And also, Joss Whedon is not involved in this at all, not remotely, which was another demand.
I don't think Joss Whedon's going to be involved in much anymore.
Well, the thing is, that was a major demand, because you got a lot of actors and actresses whose lives he ruined on the sets of Angel and Buffy.
Yeah.
Charisma Carpenter alone, oh my God. But this could be another, between Supernatural coming back and, Buffy coming back, like, they're similar shows, but they're different, and they have enormous followings. Like, those two things in Harry Potter can make it to where Warner Brothers doesn't need to waste their time on headaches. And to bring this back around, I hope that's what happens, because I don't think AEW is worth their time.
I mean, they've got at least 3 years to get their shit together.
Yeah.
Not that
I hope for the sake of the decent wrestlers on in the company that they do. I just don't have any faith in it.
Well, the problem, the issues they have between the lack of creative, between the, their fans chasing casual fans away.
Yeah.
It's
gatekeeping. It's literally gatekeeping at its finest.
A lot of their wrestlers are just completely unlikable in real life.
Mm-hmm.
On Twitter, they're just just assholes.
And it's the people that are hanging their fucking company on the most.
Like, I don't understand what happened to Ricochet when he left WWE. He just became this giant douche.
Yep.
Online. And then for some reason, Samantha Urban, who used to be so great with fans, just becomes this giant bitch.
Yeah, I'm really bummed about that.
Which, and I like Samantha. I want her to be, I want her to succeed in everything, but ever since she's left WWE, we're getting a new fucking excuse every single week about why she left. It's like, God, we don't care at this point.
It was her music career. It was this. It was that.
It's like, at this point, we don't care. You're gone. Mm-hmm. Okay. We've moved on.
You shit the bed, dude. Yep.
It's like, we've moved on. Is she a great ring announcer? Hell yeah.
She really is.
None of us are going to argue that she was bad at her job. She was great at what she did.
If she'd have left for music for a while, I would have got it. That's what Lillian did, and now she's back.
Yeah, Lillian
Garcia. She left for music, and now she's back. I mean, It's okay to take a break for a while to do something that's not wrestling and then come back, but I don't know that's what she's doing.
First, it was her music. Then it was she wanted to do more with the company. Then it was, she wanted to manage, or she wanted to do something like that, and she wanted to do this or this. Look, we get it. You're not with the company anymore. We don't. Now, at the same time, people need to stop asking her why. If you're gonna interview her, here's the thing about. And I know as a wrestling podcaster, I can't really talk shit about other podcasters, but I don't interview wrestlers.
No, yet.
Here's an idea. Maybe if you interview a wrestler, don't ask them the question they've already been asked 20 times.
Exactly. I get tired of that shit.
It's like, if you get Triple H on your show, not saying most people will, maybe don't ask him about the lawsuit against Vince when 13 other people asked him about it, and he's flat out told you he can't talk about it.
Or his relationship with China.
Yeah.
That's the other thing he's talked to death about. He's done fucking talking about.
Yeah, when Kevin Sullivan was alive, everybody asking him, well, hey, what about Chris Benoit? What about him?
Right.
I understand you want to get quoted and stuff like that. Maybe ask them about what's going on in their life now.
Yeah, and what they're excited about,
Yeah.
Ask them about some dream matches, something, interesting.
If you're gonna interview Jey Uso, maybe ask him how he felt with the Rumble, what his plans are going forward, How about we don't bring up his DUIs?
Yeah.
That it's the past. It's the past. It's nobody's the same person they are today that they were 5 years ago.
Hell no. That's some bottom feeder ass questions, man.
Like, that's the shit, and that's why I don't really pay attention to these interviews and stuff like that, is because you're going to ask them the same question that the other 3 interviewers asked him. That's what you're going to do, because you think he's going to give you a different answer than he's given them.
Yeah.
And they're not. Especially if they're fucking smart, they're not.
And I love it when they try and sneak him in at the fucking press conferences after the pay-per-views too, because they should just like, did you not just hear me give the same answer to someone else next?
Well, the thing about it is too, like, and everybody gives him shit online. I know everybody gives him shit on social media and that, he didn't answer the question. It's an ongoing lawsuit. He's not allowed to answer.
Exactly. Fucking morons, man.
Like my best example, I always bring up Enzo, when he got accused of sexually assaulting that YouTuber. When Enzo,
it wasn't until the show last week that I found out from you that he didn't do it after all. I thought this whole time that he was guilty until you told me, and then I looked it up.
No, but he did the smart thing. He shut the fuck up.
It's what you should do.
Lawyer, and the first thing a lawyer, any good lawyer, will tell you in the middle of a case: shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Do not talk to the media. Do not talk to anybody about this case.
Yep.
The first thing,
get the fuck over it. Move on.
The first thing his accuser did was go on her own Facebook page and her own YouTube channel and was talking about it non-stop. Until the point where her friend, it was like her gay best friend, basically came out and goes, yeah, no, look, had a text, of her texting him going, hey, I just hooked up with a WWE wrestler.
Right.
I just hooked up with a WWE wrestler, and basically in the text it goes, you can immediately from the text go, it's consensual. He didn't assault her. He didn't force himself on her. She wasn't drunk.
Right.
And her best friend came out and said flat out, she does this shit all the time.
It's crazy, man.
So yeah, they immediately, like, the prosecutor immediately dropped the case, but he never got his job back.
Nope.
Not because of that. He didn't get his job back because everybody backstage fucking hated him.
Right.
And it was one of those situations where it was like, if we hire him back, they might jump his ass.
Yeah. I know Enzo and Cass just had a little mini reunion.
Yeah, on the Jericho cruise.
Yep. Yeah, I was reading about that earlier.
And I'm sure the crew.
They were a fun tag team.
They were. I liked them. I liked them when they were around. The Jericho Cruise, like, it was a fun time and all, but it's just a bunch of AEW wrestlers, and I can't imagine the smell of the fans. And yeah,
I feel like I'd have gotten kicked off the ship.
Yeah, it's possible. It is possible. But
yeah, hey Jericho, why did you name your band after a Muppet?
Did Jim Henson sue?
Yeah, I know. That's the question I want to know.
I don't know. Jericho seems like a great guy, like a good interview. He's a huge horror movie fan. I want to see his new one.
Oh yeah.
I want to see the new movie he just made.
Dark Match. Yeah, I want to see that too. I was checking that out like a couple days ago. I'm like, man, I actually want to see this.
Yeah, it actually looks good. And I'll give it to him. He's a big horror movie fan. Anybody who's ever watched, Joe Bob or anybody knows where the name Ralphus came from.
Yeah.
And he just seems like I said, an all-around good dude. Just, it's time to retire, dude. It's time to retire.
Oh my God! I just realized someone that's not in the Hall of Fame that should be in the Hall of Fame.
Who's that?
Raven.
Oh, he ain't going in the Hall of Fame, man.
I think he will at some point.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, he was a huge part of ECW.
ECW, he ended up becoming a huge part of WCW for a while, and he just didn't catch on with WWE as much.
I think by that time, the Flock and the character was already, dead in the water, and I don't think and if I remember right, I don't think when he was God, what the hell was his name when he managed the Amazing the Canadians, the Quebecers. Johnny Polo, when he was Johnny Polo,
Yeah.
and he left WWF in the early to mid 90s. It didn't end. It wasn't on good terms.
Yeah, I mean, he's come back since then, though.
Oh yeah, no, he's got his own. I know he's got his own podcast.
No, I mean he's been on WWE since then.
Well, he came back in the early 2000s.
No,
did he come back for ECW?
I remember him coming back after that, like within like the last 5 or 6 years. He was. I swear to God, he was a Royal Rumble entrance at one point.
Not that I remember.
I'll have to go back and check because I swear I was excited to see him for something.
I know I think he's come back to TNA. I think he came back.
Well, I know he did that, but I swear there was something involving WWE. I'll look into it.
He was doing a lot with MLW like about a year or so ago.
Well, I know that too. Yeah.
Where he had the flock with like Ricky Shane Page and they did like the War Games match against Jake Christ and his team.
Yeah, I knew about that because I'm a big fan of Raven. He was also an English literature professor.
Yeah, his I know he does a lot of conspiracy theories now.
Yeah,
and talks about aliens and things like that.
Oh yeah, I still pay attention to him.
Yeah, I mean he's got a lot of good ideas.
Yeah, he's amusing, and I really enjoyed him as a wrestler.
I did. I mean, I used to, like I said, I when I first watched him in as Raven in ECW. And the funny thing is, I watched him as Scotty Flamingo.
Yeah.
I watched him as Johnny Polo. I didn't recognize him. I didn't recognize when I saw him as Raven.
I recognized him from being Johnny Polo.
See, I didn't. I really didn't, and I don't know why. But all right, we've been going for 3 hours.
Yeah, wrestling happens.
Yeah, I mean it's always fun to talk wrestling.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Raz,
we also spent like 25 minutes talking about Warner Brothers too.
We did.
Yeah. But yeah, you can find me at RazTSlasher.com and all the usual social medias. You can also find me 3 nights in a row for Valentine's Day weekend down at Hell's Dungeon, conveniently located in Dayton, Ohio. We have Hellbound Humor, our first comedy show, coming out on the 13th, which is a Thursday. Friday's our traditional Valentine's Day haunt, whereas Saturday is our murder mystery dinner, and then our Valentine's Day haunt after. So you're going to see a lot more haunters from haunts all across Ohio than we've ever had before. It's going to be a great fucking 3-day event down here.
And what about their mom's bed? I thought you were always in their mom's bed.
I'm taking a break from moms right now because I've had a lot of pancakes and I need to lose some weight, so I'm kind of chilling out a little bit right now. Yeah.
All right, that explains it. And as usual, you can find me everywhere at the Bloody Binge Movie Podcast on Facebook, on X, on YouTube. And we also have groups for Hardcore Heels. We have groups for Shivers on Facebook. And I've actually just opened up the new Hardcore Heels X page.
Nice. And don't forget we got the Discord, which we also need to add those shows to.
This is true. I don't really do Discord. I've been meaning.
A lot of people do. Hey, we have a haunt Discord too.
I know, but I'm an old guy, so you know.
You know what? I'm old too. Fuck you, buddy.
You know,
get your ass on Discord.
All this new technology, I really can't figure it out.
New technology.
But now now that January is over and I hopefully can stop hurting myself. I will also be at Hell's Dungeon next weekend. At least for the 14th and the 15th. I might come down for the comedy show.
You should, just for fun, man.
We'll see, because that is I do gotta work a couple of nights too.
Yeah.
Kind of. No offense to you, but it's kind of bumming me out. I didn't even think about it when I committed to working for Valentine's. Last time I worked Valentine's Day on a Friday, I made like $200 in like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Door dashing, but I've committed. I will be at the haunt. I will be at Hell's Dungeon in a pink leotard with a funny wig on.
Yep.
But this week on the Bloody Binge Movie Podcast, tomorrow afternoon, we are watching Sorceress from 1982. Jim Wynorski's I explained to Friday last week who Jim Wynorski was, and she's just like, "Oh," I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I was like, he went from making some pretty good movies, directing Chopping Mall and
Yes, which I fucking love Chopping Mall.
And 90s. Chopping Mall is great. And then in the late 90s, early 2000s, all of a sudden moved to Skinamax.
Yep.
But we're watching Sorceress this week on the Bloody Binge Movie Podcast. Tomorrow we'll be talking about it. Next week we have Shivers. I think we're going to actually do that on Thursday next week. So no Hardcore Heels next week. We will be, unless something big happens.
Yeah,
I think
I'll be here for Shivers though, for sure.
Well, you'll be doing the comedy show for Shivers.
What time are you doing it at? Because the comedy show ends at 9.
Well, you might be here for Shivers then, because we are doing romantic serial killers.
I'm going to try to be here for Shivers. That's my goal. If not this one, definitely the next one.
And we love having you on the show Friday.
Yes, very much.
But yeah, this one we're gonna I'm doing a romantic serial killers, kind of like a Valentine's Day episode. We're gonna focus on like lovers lane killers and serial killing couples.
Hell yeah!
Right now, I know the Colonial Park. I'm probably not even gonna do news this time because there's so much to cover.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to do the Colonial Park murders, which is one that I grew up with that used to scare the shit out of me as a kid. Because I was like 11, 12 years old, and there's a rest stop that one of the bodies was found at that I used to stop at all the time. That me and my family used to stop at all the time when we would drive to DC because it's the only rest stop between Virginia Beach and Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about that. We've got I got a few more serial killing couples. I got the Barbie killers, and a few other ones. I think we're going to talk about the Tinder murders.
Nice.
And a few others. That's going to be next Thursday, the 13th. After that, we got Sweatshop coming up on the Bloody Binge. We have Mardi Gras Massacre the week after that to celebrate Mardi Gras. Then March, we have we're going to start March off with American Ninja. Yeah, I decided I wanted to do a martial arts movie, and I'm like, what better movie for the Bloody Binge Movie Podcast than American Ninja?
It's fucking hilarious. And you know what? I'm gonna make a fun announcement since this is a wrestling show.
Go ahead.
If anyone out there remembers my wrestling days and is still wrestling and wants to challenge me, I'll come back for a death match, but I'll get in shape for it first.
I am interested to see this.
I'll do it. But I would want some time to get back in shape. I'm going to die no matter what, but you know.
No, you're not allowed to die in the ring. Don't pull a Ric Flair.
Oh, it would be intentional. And I would bother to get in shape first, like I said, but yeah.
There you go. The 14th, we are doing Unlucky Charms for the St. Patrick's Day show.
Hell yeah.
21st, I believe we are not going to have a show, actually, because I am going to be down in Cincinnati for Horror Hound Weekend. Maybe do a live video or something on the YouTube channel.
There's a slight chance we may also be coming at least for Friday because that is Brooklyn's 21st birthday. And she thought it'd be really fun to, actually drink for the first time in that environment. So we may be coming down for that. I didn't have the chance to kind of get everything done for the press passes, but it snuck up on me and I got busy. But definitely for next year, I want to have a bigger presence there with us, doing shit.
Oh, I put in for the press passes for the Bloody Binge, and I have not heard a fucking thing back.
Okay.
But then again, I really don't have many followers in that, so
well,
that has a lot to do with it.
So then for next year, we'll get together and we'll put it under Owlite because Owlite under Dorkening is it's someone that they will accept now, and we did a lot of stuff for them after. Okay. So because you are part of Owlite, you just have a show on Owlite. But if you apply as the network, we should be able to get us in. Shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I'm hoping they announce some better people because they don't have the greatest lineup so far.
Yep.
It's a lot of people I've already met. It's a lot of the entire Terrifier cast is going to be there.
Yeah.
He's caught
And
a lot
I've
of shit.
met most of them already.
Oh yeah, Damian Leone's caught a lot of shit over the week too. So
Yeah.
and it's for something so fucking innocent, but people have to be assholes.
Yep.
And then on the 28th of March, we are going to have a spring break episode. And we are going to watch, I think it's 2012 it came out, Bikini Spring Break.
Oh, that's a good one.
With Robert Carradine.
Yeah.
Movie I watched when I worked at Blockbuster. We're going to watch it. Again, like I said, in April, I'm still working on April's movies. April 4th is going to be the 1-year anniversary show of the Bloody Binge Movie Podcast.
Nice.
Yes, it'll be the one. I've been doing this podcast for 1 year on the 4th. Yeah. So we're gonna do. I'm gonna do something. I haven't figured out what I want to do yet. I don't know if I want to do like a live call of a movie or something.
Yeah.
But we'll be doing something special on that day.
Oh yeah.
And then April, I'm trying to decide. I want to do because like I said, our first episode last year was the WrestleMania episode.
Yeah.
With Body Slam.
Yep.
And so WrestleMania weekend is Easter weekend this year, so I don't know whether to do another. I might just lean towards a wrestling movie.
No holds barred, man.
Or if I want to do an Easter movie,
like Critters.
No holds barred, like Critters, or like the Bunny Man Massacre, or something like that.
Oh yeah. I fucking love No Holds Barred though.
I do love them. I still remember I got that for Christmas.
Yeah, I saw that movie in theaters when it first came out.
When they released it on pay-per-view, they were going to have this big event. It was going to be first the cage match, and I think it was the cage match. It was Brutus Beefcake and Hogan against Zeus and Randy Savage.
Yep.
And
I remember that shit.
It was going to be on the 26th of December, and I got that shit for Christmas that year. That was one of my Christmas presents. Was my mom bought it. My mom rented it for me, and I was.
That is fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, I was excited as hell. But yeah, we got a long line. So we got a great lineup coming up on the Bloody Binge Movie Podcast, on Shivers, and of course Hardcore Heels. WrestleMania's coming up. Elimination Chamber's coming up. We are currently on the road to WrestleMania. We are currently on the road to John Cena's retirement. So keep tuned in here on the Owlite Network to the Bloody Binge, to Hardcore Heels, to Shivers, and don't forget on Shivers our next episode, because I don't think we're doing one in March, so we'll probably end up doing Shivers in April. Our next Cryptid episode is going to be from Mississippi.
Nice.
Yeah, we just did Kentucky, and the wheel landed on Mississippi now, so this is going to be interesting. This is our first deep south, our first deep south state.
Hell yeah, man.
So right now that'll put us. We've done Ohio, we've done Vermont, and we've done Kentucky. So this will be our fourth state, and it'll be down in Mississippi.
Hell yeah.
So all that coming up on the show. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Hardcore Heels.
See ya.
We'll see you guys next. Well, I guess we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks, unless something really big happens. Later.
Right.